right, what's going on? About to get started in a minute. All right, what's going on? About to get started in a minute. Turn the sound down. Just get situated. Maybe it won't be too long a stream tonight. Just want to get on here and talk a few things. Big news, of course, for the MMA world. I want to talk on Clarissa Shields a little bit and her move to the MMA world, which I just dropped a video on. I gave you my thoughts on that. So if y'all want to watch it real quick, y'all can check that out. But yeah, I want to go in more on that and talk about a couple of fights too as well. So I'm gonna start here in a few minutes, let a few people come in, and then probably like around the 3 or 4 minute mark I'll get started. So yeah, just a few more minutes and I'll get started. So I'll be with y'all in a second. Just a few more minutes here, y'all. All right, y'all. So let's talk some MMA. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another CB99 live stream. Of course, I'm Combo Breaker 99. Got a few people in the chat already. What's going on, Stamina? Clay Dog, Madman. What's going on, man? Clay Dog already going in on Macy. Said she need to call out Felicia Spencer. I mean, that would be dope, man. That would be real. In a perfect world, she'd be at featherweight right now. But yeah, just want to kick it with y'all with some WMMA conversation for a little bit. You know, I want to give y'all my thoughts here on Claressa Shields making that transition to MMA, and then we could talk about a couple of these fights here. You know, it's the fight weekend, of course. Taylor Santos and Montana De La Rosa gonna throw down, and you know I'm already favoring towards Taylor in this fight, but you know I'm gonna break that down for y'all. Roger, what's going on, man? And then we can talk Macy Chiasson versus Reneau. Yeah, man, what's going on though, y'all? I'm just chilling, man. Another Tuesday here, chilling. It's cold out here, man. It's like 30 degrees. I mean, yesterday was like 60. Today, like, the temperature just dropped like crazy out here, man. I mean, when that weather jumps around like that, man, ain't nothing to play with. Trying to give somebody pneumonia or something. But yeah, I had mentioned this a little bit yesterday because Marcus Bell, he had come through and he had posted a link. And yeah, this was news yesterday, but you know, I was just talking about it today. Claressa Shields, she signed on a PFL deal to make her MMA debut, and she signed on to fight in the lightweight tournament, and she's going to be not the lightweight tournament, the lightweight division, because she's actually going to be taking fights in the non-tournament. You know, she's going to be in the PFL season, but the fight she's taking, the first fight she takes, and I guess like the second and third fight, they're all going to be just fights that are you know, non-tournament for her. So they're going to be professional fights, but they're non-tournament fights. And I know this is something that she's been toying with for a while. I understand why she's kind of taking this path right now. You know, Claressa, if you're not familiar with her in the boxing world, you know, I'm a hardcore boxing fan, so I've seen all her fights. You know, she's 10-0, but I've seen all her fights. And, you know, I've seen, you know, just her attitude and the moves that she makes. And, you know, she's the type of fighter that doesn't really turn down a challenge. You know, she's always looking for something to do and try to perfect herself. You know, she's a 3-division world champion. She's unified in all 3 divisions. At 160, she was undisputed. So that lets you know that every fight she's taking means something. You know, Claressa is the type of fighter, like I said, wants to compete, wants to become the best at something, you know, especially boxing. You know, that's her one love. And like she said at this point in the interview, boxing is like second nature to her now. So with that being said, she's kind of in that, I won't say a rut, but she's kind of in that mode where she needs something to do to really challenge herself. And this is, I mean, it's really coming at no better time because of the pandemic. You know, women's boxing it's kind of been at a flat line. You know, Katie Taylor's been having fights here and there. You know, DAZN's been putting on some women's boxing matches, but other than that, there really hasn't been too many boxing events for her. And then, of course, there's a lack of competition in boxing. You know, there's a lack of competition in women's boxing. You know, so she doesn't really feel like there's any tests out there for her. I mean, she said she's still going to continue to box and do you know, do mixed martial arts. But at the moment, she really wants to challenge herself with taking on, you know, mixed martial arts. But, you know, the thing, so as a boxing fan, I'm all for that. You know, as a boxing fan, I'm all for that because, you know, I support her as a boxer because, you know, she's one of the few fighters that'll take on any challenge and, you know, tries to unify all the divisions. You know, she's not a fighter that tries to duck or make any excuses. And she's always looking for somebody to fight, even like Savannah Marshall. Like, eventually that's a fight in boxing that she'll take. But in the meantime, until Savannah Marshall really like establishes herself, you know, that's not really like a big fight for her. But she definitely called out Savannah Marshall. But when I look at it as an MMA fan, I definitely, man, I'm really hoping that Clarissa is definitely in there, like doing the work that she needs to do to really, make this move into the mixed martial arts world, because MMA is no joke. I mean, boxing alone is a dangerous sport, but MMA is just a whole different world. And I hope that, she's taking that approach. I know she said she was, she was posting videos of her on Instagram before learning how to kick and throw the proper kicks. And, she said she was taking up wrestling and things like that. So I'm hoping that's really falling through. I mean, not falling through, but I really hope that's going through for her. And I hope that she's really taking it seriously like that. I hope she's really making those type of improvements. She said people in her camp are telling her, if she sucks, she sucks. Let her know. But she said that some of the people she's worked with said that she's doing good. So I'm not really sure what that means on what specific discipline that she's doing well in, but it's still a long road for her to be able to think she can compete with, anybody in like the top 15 of Bellator, top 15 of the UFC. That's a long ways for her. And hell, I mean, even Invicta, a lot of the ladies in Invicta could give Clarissa Shields some work, so it's gonna have to be like a long process for her, to make that transition. Now, if she posted like some videos of her actually working out, that would be cool, because we could actually kind of gauge it for ourselves and see how she's looking, like, because like I said, for boxing, her mindset is to learn and soak up whatever it is she needs to know, like as far as the defense, her perfecting her jab and her head movement in boxing. That was always no problem for her, but trying to see her learn how to position her feet to learn how to strike instead of box, that's a different world. I want to see how she'll be able to make that transition. Like, will she still be kind of flat footed? Or will she be a little bit more nimble? Will she like bounce around the balls of her feet? Will she have that type of energy? Because you remember, she's going to be a lightweight too. So, that's a solid weight for her. And, now you got to really think she's going to have to move her legs. She's going to be moving her body, going in for the clinches and wrestling. So she's going to be working muscles that, she's never really used before, like in boxing. So there's just so many angles that she has to look at. And, as an MMA fan, not a boxing fan, that's the things I got to be honest about. Like, this isn't something that she's just going to jump in there and learn overnight. And then when you factor in that she's never grappled before, that's another thing. That's just a whole nother world. Like, you've seen people I've interviewed up here on my channel when they, talk to me about, if you're a boxer and you go in with the mind frame that, I can do jujitsu too, you usually get your ass handed to you. That's what I've been told. You get tapped out so easy. So that's something else that Clarissa Shields has to be thinking about. Hopefully she's been taking like grappling sessions and really working on that, because I know that the coach, he brought this up too, and I remember her saying this. She said in 2 years she wants to be a black belt at BJJ. And don't forget, y'all, just hit the like button too, hit the thumbs up. I see I got like 11 to 12 people in here, so make sure y'all hit the like button so the notifications go up. But yeah, anyways, she said that she wants to be a black belt in 2 years. Well, with that mind frame right there, that lets you know that she doesn't really understand the work and the science that goes into being a master at BJJ. I mean, looking at some of these other fighters in the past that are like brown belts and like purple belts, it took them like years and years just to get that. Like to go from a brown belt, purple belt. What's the order? I'm not sure right now, but just to be able to do those, to get those belts, you really have to put in the work. And like, some fighters have gotten like black belts, it takes like a decade sometimes. So for her to actually think you could go in there and get a black belt in 2 years, that's the wrong mind frame. So she really needs to be around people from the MMA world that can kind of humble her and open her mind to a logical way of thinking when it comes to becoming a well-rounded fighter. And while I bring that up too, like, a well-rounded fighter in my eyes as an MMA fan, to be a well-rounded fighter, you don't have to be perfect in every discipline. I always say that, like, you don't have to be the best striker, the best boxer. If your main strength is a wrestler, that could be your main thing, but you still need to know how to fight in the clinch. You still need to learn how to throw a basic 1-2. You need to know how to check a leg kick. You have to be able to do a little bit of everything. So you can know what another fighter is about to do. You need the basics. So if you have your basics down in like striking, you'll know what a top-notch striker is going to do. You can be prepared for that because you can study their body language. You can study their hands. So that's another angle that Claressa really needs to surround herself in MMA camps. You need to be around people that tell you that, you don't need to be flat-footed. You don't need to be front foot heavy because they're going to tear your leg apart if you keep, positioning yourself in that boxer stance. Just little things like that, man. So I think, yeah, as an MMA fan, it's going to be a long, hard road, and with the right approach, with the right people behind her, with the right approach mentally for her, I think she could do it. But my question is, like, man, going into the PFL world, like, what's the PFL's angle here, man? Because, like, for me, Claressa Shields in PFL, that means you should be like at least like a solid. You should at least be a fighter with a solid amateur background or some type of grappling skills. I know we always say that PFL is not like an elite organization with top-notch competition for even like Kayla Harrison, but I think the fighters in PFL, they could really like give Claressa Shields work, especially for a fighter making their MMA debut. She's not a fighter that had a background in MMA. So with her going in for the first time, she could really get her ass handed to her by some of these fighters that we consider, third and fourth tier fighters, Let me check the chat real quick here. Got some people coming in. Hey, yeah, I said, what's going on, Roger? Of course, Stamina. Colton, what's going on? BJ's in the house. Ernest Richardson, what's going on? Derek Bailey, what's going on? That's my man, Derek. Ain't see you in a while, man. Robert Henry, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, Robert. After I do my little talk and give you my thoughts, like I said, on the second half, I'll send you a link and you can give me your thoughts on what I talk about today, man. So yeah, I'll start doing that a little bit more. So yeah, second half, I'll send you a link, Robert. I'll put it in the chat so you can come in. What did Derek said? Claressa's still trying to get in MMA. Yeah, Derek, man. She's not trying. She's in there. She's in there. Yeah, she's in there now, man. Stamina said because she will get taken down, Colton, she needs to not just drown once she's on the mat. Some idea of things to do will be an asset to her. Yeah, man. Like that's what I said. Like my next angle, where was I at? Yeah, so going back to her starting in the PFL, like I don't know why she would make that jump to PFL so sudden because I don't know if she's thinking that she could handle the competition that Kayla Harrison's handling. But even if you think about it, like Kayla Harrison, she's really having to work for her wins. Like even Kayla Harrison's not like a top-notch elite fighter. Even if I got a video coming out about her, I still feel like Kayla Harrison got a lot of work before she can call out the top 15 in the UFC or top 10 in Bellator. She struggled with fighters like Laura Pacheco. So she's definitely not someone that you could really just look at and say, well, I can do what she's doing too. Because she still has she has a solid background in judo, but she's still learning her striking. But I think she can fare better in like physical, in a clinch or, going in there being a little bit more physical because she's used to it now after 8 fights. But like Claressa can't really gauge herself off of what Kayla Harrison is doing against these opponents. And yeah, just like Stammer, you were saying, I mentioned that in my video. Yeah, you definitely need to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You really need to start training in that. I mean, you can learn takedown defense. You can be spot on with the takedown defense. Like Joanna, she's really good at popping back up, and she's real good at sprawling out and takedown defense. But it's still good for her to learn that, because the weight class that she's in is going to be more effective if she learns how to grapple. And I mean, one of the things I brought up earlier that popped up on my mind was the fact that we haven't even heard like Clarissa going to like grappling sessions or like grappling tournaments. That would have been nice. Like if she would have been posting stuff like that on IG, not just learning kicks and things and wrestling, but like actually going to grappling tournaments. Like the ones with Daniel Kelly and Roxanne Matafara. That would have been nice. Like if she was going to those grappling tournaments and competing, then we would have been saying, "Oh yeah, this girl's really taking it seriously." Not that she's not taking it seriously, but she could actually be putting some notches on her belt to actually get sharp. Because for a boxer like her, I think you need to make that transition to something like BJJ to really get a good eye opener and be humbled and be choked out a few times and be submitted a few times to say, "Yo, I'm the best at boxing, but I'm definitely not the best at grappling." And that damn sure tells me I'm not going to be the best at mixed martial arts. There's a lot of work to do. Ernest Richards said Josette Cotton would be a good first fight for Clarissa. That would be an interesting fight. The headbuster, put the headbuster Cotton in there, and I could see something like that happening. Because I know like that's her main thing is she's a pretty solid hitter too. So that might be an interesting fight they try to make. Derek said I haven't heard her say anything about it lately, so I thought it was just talk. Yeah, it's all over now, man. If you just Google it now, I mean, it's on Instagram too. She posted like a little promotional video of her, taking the boxing gloves off and putting on the PFL gloves. So yeah, she's ready, and she posted a picture of her signing the contract. And I just did a video with her signing the contract. I just literally put it up like 3 minutes ago. But yeah, the tournaments, that's what I'm saying. The tournaments would be good. Like, let's think now. So, like I said, an amateur background would have been nice, but it's too late for that. But it's still not too late for the grappling tournaments. Because I was talking about that in my video too. The grappling tournaments, hell, like, I be having grappling tournaments but not too far away from here. Like, Hannah Cyphers and Miranda Maverick, they came out to some grappling tournaments, not too far from me. And, of course, there's like some that Roxanne Matafara goes to. Jillian Robertson competes in. Misha Tate was still competing in some of them, if I remember correctly, for a while. So, yeah, there would be nice places for her to kind of mingle and actually get with the camp that could help her grow. Like she hasn't really been vocal on who she's working with in camp that's getting her sharp. But those are just suggestions from me that, like I said, like that she needs to do at this point. And what are some other things that? Let me know in the comment section. What else does she need to work on? I mean, being able to fight off your back, that's something that she has to prepare for. Being prepared to take knees to the body. Being prepared for tie clinches. Head control on the fence. Because there's going to be a lot of fighters. I can imagine right now there's gonna be a lot of PFL fighters that want to come. They're gonna come in here that want that. They're gonna want that credibility that they stop Clarissa Shields. So they're gonna be going all out trying to shoot in for a double leg and take her down and just have her defenseless on the ground. Like I can see that happening early. So she really needs to be prepared for stuff like that. Be prepared for egos that a fighter's gonna come in there trying to take her head off. But definitely, like I said, the body needs to be in shape for knees. Be prepared for elbows. I know left hooks to the body and left hooks to the head and jabs. That's one thing, but you gotta remember, like a lot of the fighters that Clarissa fought in boxing, they didn't really have the power to hurt her. Like she could deflect a lot of shots with her defense in boxing. But there's going to be some hard hitters, especially at this lightweight division that she's going to be at. There's more knockouts in this division than there are in women's boxing for some reason. It's weird like that. Like women's MMA tends to have more knockouts than women's boxing. But men's boxing has more knockouts with the hands than MMA. Men's MMA. Let's see. Ernest Richardson said she has to get used to smaller gloves. Yep, got to get used to smaller gloves, especially defending shots coming in. Yep, because you can't go behind no peekaboo with no small gloves. Stamina said I go as far as. Oh yeah, what's going on, BJ? I saw your comment pass by up here. You said Chiasson about direct Reneau. Yeah, we gonna get on that. Stamina said I go as far as to say that if we don't know any of the people overseeing her tuition perhaps isn't of a high enough level. She should be learning from proven minds of the sport, in my opinion. Yeah, man, you really got to learn from the minds. Like if she surrounds herself with the who's who, like I know it's becoming a common name we always mention with the striking, but we know she has a solid foundation in boxing. But let's go with Jason Perillo. Like he could teach her how to transition her boxing into striking, effective striking, at the MMA level, at the like the UFC and Bellator level with these fighters. Derek Bailey said prepare to take leg kicks. Yeah, that's why she got to prepare to like be a little bit more nimble on her feet. You can't be flat-footed. Roger said developing cardio and energy management and anaerobic as well as aerobic. Boxing is completely different than grappling when it comes to these energy submissions. That's facts right there, Roger. Yeah, man. Like that's why I was saying earlier. Like in boxing, you train for so many different types of punches and movements with certain types of muscles that you use every day, and that becomes second nature, which she said is second nature for her. But when it comes to MMA, you're going to be working so many different things, like popping back up after getting taken down or trying to scramble back up. That takes energy within itself to, fighting off, fighters in the clinch. You'll be stretching your thighs and your legs a lot. So that's the type of stuff she has to be prepared for. Yeah, man, that's a good one though, man. Yeah. And like you said, energy management. And that's like the perfect thing you brought up, because it's like with Amanda Nunes and the champions like Amanda and Valentina. Like, so whenever Clarissa called out somebody like Amanda Nunes, it's funny to her because she already knows that, look, this is MMA world is second nature to me. And that energy management really comes into play with those champions because they know how to fight at a pace. They know when to fight with that burst. They know when to fight with that fast twitch. They know when to slow down and coast, when to slow down and just kind of study their opponent's body language, if that makes sense. They know how to fight at a rhythm. Every round's not the same. And that's something that Clarissa's going to have to get used to. Like in boxing, women's boxing, they only fight 2-minute rounds. So, you could fight hard for 2 minutes, sit down, fight hard for 2 minutes, sit down, fight hard for 2 minutes, or coast for 2 minutes, coast for 2 minutes. The patterns are a little bit more set for your body in there. But when you get into MMA, 5 minutes for 5 rounds, or 5 minutes for 3 rounds, you can't really predict the pace as a beginner. Clarissa can't predict that pace yet. That's not time. She's not going to be able to go in there and do that. That's why you see some of these guys like Costa, like he was gassing out just trying to stand with Izzy whenever he wasn't even throwing anything. Like he was about to gas out just standing there because he wasn't used to that pace that Izzy was hitting him with, making him think or making him move at different angles that he wanted to. Clarissa's stamina was kind of suspect when she was boxing anyway. Yeah, when you get into them 10 rounds, I mean, even in boxing, boxing 10 rounds, 2 minutes, and if you gassing out of there, yeah, you got a lot of work to do there. But yeah, like energy management, that's important, man. Yeah, you can sprint in 2 minutes. Yeah, but 5 minutes, 5 minutes, that's, if you ain't got your game, yeah, 5 minutes is a different animal. Because you got to think too, yeah, like 5 minutes is so different because 5 minutes in MMA is not just punching. 5 minutes it's not just punching, it's kicking, it's defending takedowns, it's grappling, it's wrestling, it's trying to get away, it's scrambling, it's like trying to come back after getting hurt. It's everything coming at you all at once. You know, it's worrying about head kicks. Now that's another thing, like Clarissa has to get used to, like when somebody's kicking you, you know what I mean? Like you got to get used to that. Nah, there ain't no rules like in boxing, or kicking, but she's got to be prepared for all of that. And yeah, honestly, like some of you brought up too, Stamina, like I haven't really heard like any major names. I haven't heard any like major names that have been like overseeing her moves. Like, I've I've seen her spar in boxing with Chris Cyborg. I know we all seen that. But as far as her like making the moves, I haven't heard her going over to like American Top Team or anything like that, like, Kayla Harrison did. Um, Matter of fact, I can't even remember who Amanda Serrano was with. I have to look her up again. I follow her boxing career mostly, but yeah, Amanda Serrano, she made her transition to MMA. I don't know who that. I can't remember who she linked up with though. Really can't remember who she linked up with. So it would be interesting to see some of these big names kind of reach out to Clarissa. BJ said most MMA fighters would love to stay on the feet all rounds, and Clarissa is gassing in boxing. Yeah, like if she pushes herself too hard in there, like I have to go back and look at some of her fights, like which ones she gassed at, because that would tell me what weight it was probably at. Like that was kind of rough on her, but I wouldn't say she gassed too much. Like it wasn't like a ongoing thing, because most of her fights are decisions. She only has like 2 stoppages, so she is used to going the distance in those fights. But yeah, MMA is still definitely a different world though. When you get there, and you got to remember, she's gonna be a lightweight too. She's gonna be at a heavy weight. So, um, trying to carry that weight, trying to carry an opponent's weight for 25 minutes or for 15 minutes, that's a long time. Stamina said clinches versus immediate separation too. Yeah, like she can't be looking at the ref to even separate you. Like she can't be looking at the ref waiting to separate, because sometime they'll separate you if there's no action, but sometimes they'll give you time to work, and she got to know how to work in there. And she gonna be getting hit with knees to the thighs, little elbows. People gonna be grinding her face with the forearm. 155 there. 145 is featherweight. Ernest Richardson said she was talking about Jackson Wink and Den Thomas and Tyron. Oh, okay. Jackson Wink. What do y'all think about that? Hooking up with Jackson Wink. What do you think about that, Stamina? What do you think about that, BJ? I wouldn't be mad if she went to Den Thomas. Oh, he said okay, Den Thomas. She needs a coach like Den. I wouldn't be mad if she went. Oh, Stammer said I would be. Oh, okay. Derek said Clarissa's hella arrogant. I hope she understands what she's getting herself into. I think she does to a certain extent. I think she does at this point. Like I'm not like saying that she told me personally, but from what I'm seeing, like the talk there, like she's actually seeing so much more ahead of her right now, where you can't just go in there and do that clout chasing, calling out Cyborg or calling out Amanda Nunes. She knows that's a long, hard road. So I think that's what she's mostly focused on now, focusing on that MMA debut and then looking good, and then focused on that second and third fight. Because I can tell you right now, the debut is going to be hard, because come on, your debut at PFL for a fighter that never had an MMA fight is going to be tough. It's really going to be tough. But hell, if Danielle Wolf can do it with the UFC, why can't Clarissa, right? So maybe we need to be a little easier on Clarissa. Danielle Wolf was a boxer, and she's 1-0 in the UFC. I'm going to keep on bringing that up, man. Like I said, I'm not bashing, but I'm just being honest, man. I'm just like, come on. 1-0 in the UFC. But yeah, So Clarissa, man, moving forward, I think that she does have a bit of the right attitude. As long as she pushes that, I'm gonna be a black belt out in two. I'm gonna be a black belt by in 2 years. As long as she pushes that mind frame out and shoots for something more so realistic, like just going into grappling tournaments and learning how to grapple, learn how to wrestle, that would be fine. That would be fine. But don't go in and say I'll be a black belt by this time, or don't even call out Chris anymore. Don't even call out Amanda anymore. You know, just shoot for wherever you're. Just shoot for whatever your goal is right now. Don't worry about what they're doing, because Chris and Nunes, they're on the tail end of their career. They can do whatever they want. Kayla Harrison, she calls out Chris, but she's stuck in the middle somewhere. She's not even ready for a cyborg fight. So what makes Shields think, or anybody think Shields would be ready for those fighters? They'll probably be done by the time she actually gets that. They'll be way past done by the time she gets like a purple or a brown belt. For real. Yeah, I saw that quote in there. John Jones. I know she said she would reach out to John or something like that, but yeah, John. Yeah, he's used to converting boxing and MMA. I mean, I think Perillo, he would do a good job, getting her striking up the point, and getting out of bad habits of boxing. Derek said, I hope so, because she made it sound like it's such an easy transition. Nah, it's no way an easy transition. The boxing fan in me says I want her to see her do good and do her thing, but the MMA fan says, yo, it's gonna be a hard road. You can take your chances, but you tread carefully. Think before you speak. Um, that's the type of attitude you have to go in there with. BJ said, yeah, let's give her a shot. Stamina says Jackson Wink can do good work. Those guys' energy is all wrong to me, but they know how MMA actually works. I'd rather she didn't, but I'm a civilian, so. Ernest said, I'd like to see her go to MMA lab to go with Dern's dad to get rolling, and go with Corderio at King's MMA. Yeah, yeah. She's in her 20s, so even when she realizes she's massively underestimated everything, she'll still have plenty of time. Yeah, yeah, she's got plenty of time. That's why I say, like, she could do like the Valentinas and so on. The fighters that Holly Holm, the fighters that went from discipline to discipline. So she mastered boxing. Now she can make her way to mixed martial arts, but she still needs to do that little grappling thing on the side. She needs to do that on the side to be able to become somewhat of a complete fighter. Tutelage is as much about the gelling of personalities as it is about transference of knowledge. Yeah, yeah, it is, man, because it comes down to the personalities getting along. Because I think sometimes with personalities, they're not vibing, or they're not getting together, like on the same thing, and they're not like you said, they're not gelling. They can hold back. Sometimes, say if you're in there with, let's say if Clarissa did link up with somebody like Nunes at the ATT, like I don't see. What if there was a point where they just didn't like get along, and that kind of like caused like Nunes to hold back on certain things. Like she could see Shields doing some things wrong in there, but she's not going to tell her because it's the personalities. It's the ego thing. I really don't see Nunes being that type of person in there, unless you're talking a lot of smack. But there could be a point whenever she either lets loose on her in sparring, or she could just be holding back and not telling her where she's messing up at. All because they're not clicking. So they need to have some type of chemistry in there. Yeah, yeah, Derek. Yeah, I was just talking about her. Yeah, Amanda Serrano does fight in MMA. She's been kind of going back and forth. One of the reasons she went to MMA too was because of the money. Like she said, the money was way better. She's like a 7 or 8 division world champion in boxing, but she still has to come over to MMA and make ends meet with that. So that tells you what women's boxing, the money looks like. But yeah, as far as like her move over, like as long as she continues to take a humble approach with this whole transition to MMA, I really don't want to. I don't mind. I don't mind her coming over to and signing with PFL and doing the thing, but it's going to be a lot of work, And I hope that they give her some. I won't say really like tomato cans because nobody's really going to be a tomato can for her. But let's give her some remedial fights. Let's give her some give me fights for the first season in there in the PFL so she can really get some work in and some understanding. Like give her somebody that's going to take her down, but we know that she can bounce right back up real quick. Just to kind of get the humbling blood into her, but at the same time, don't bash her confidence. Don't throw her confidence all the way out the door. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. Like as of right now, when we start seeing who she matches up against and what else she's doing as far as training, yeah, we'll talk more. Nunes looked pretty annoyed anytime she asked about Clarissa. I don't know if they would jail. Clarissa did call her out. Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, I really don't. That's just like an example. I kind of was like, a good example of seeing two fighters not gelling and somebody's not gonna be honest with them. Yeah, Serrano and Shields are cool. That's why I was kind of wondering like who was she linked up with, because I think that somebody like Serrano would tell her, that you can link up with us, or let her know like the ins and outs of how tough it is. I was actually supposed to try to get an interview with Serrano not too long ago. I might have to try to get her on just to ask about the transition for her. But yeah, let's talk. Let's talk Taylor and Montana real quick. BJ said something early about it, but I kind of went past it. Oh, okay. BJ said he just finished his article on Santos versus MDLR. All right. Just give me 1 second here. So yeah, man. That's this Saturday. Yeah, same weekend as Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. That's the card I'm looking forward to. But yeah, Friday, not Friday, but Saturday, Montana De La Rosa and Taylor Santos is going down, and this is, like I said, this is a time for Taylor Santos to really go in there and make a big statement. Taylor's got to go in there and beat this top 15 fighter. Who's number 15? Yeah, she is number 15, right? Yeah, she's got to go in there and look good. But the same can be said for Montana De La Rosa. Montana, she needs to go in there and make a statement against Taylor Santos. After her last outing against Vivian, once again, it just shows so many levels that Montana, she needs to cover ground on, even with the striking. Like, I know I said she has power in the right hand, but it all comes down to her foot placement, her ability to commit and cut off the octagon. Like, she had a few moments here and there in the Vivian fight, but there was never really a round I could just give her solid, because I just felt like she was trying too hard to stand with Vivian. And Vivian, that's her strong suit. And that's one of the things I was saying. Like, you got to be well rounded. Like, you got to be well rounded so you can study your opponent's body language. I think that if Montana had a better grasp of striking, she would have been able to figure out a lot of the things that Vivian did. That she was doing right and the things she was doing wrong. So BJ said her striking has still improved. It's okay. It's okay. I was just going back and looking at the tape again, last night, and it it's okay. It's okay. It's not reaching that Andrea Lee level. Like she still needs to even have like a solid jab like Andrea Lee, and Andrea Lee pieced her up. So I think that she just needs to really get a grasp of it, but at the same time, work her strengths. Her strength is the inside and take fighters down and use her physical strength. So going into this fight, I personally don't want to see her go in there and try to box or strike with Taylor, because I think Taylor is a good solid heavy hitter. She just hasn't had time to prove it much. Like I've seen some of Taylor's old fights, which I had to go back and look at because she's had so many damn cancellations in the UFC. Somebody told me like the number. Who was it? I think it was Jason Rose. Shout out to Jason Rose. Jason Rose said she had like 14, and like I lost count. Honestly, I lost count on how many damn cancellations she's had. It was getting annoying. Like the only fight she's had was the Molly fight and the close fight I saw with Mara. So even though she has a loss to Barella, that's really not a fight we can really gauge her on. That was like what was it, early 2019. But since then, she's really been sharpening up. And I think after like 14 cancellations, like I said, she's ready to go in there and prove something. And I think with the win over Molly McCann, that definitely showed different levels to her. It really showed different levels where we could say this girl is physically strong. She's got good takedown defense. She's good in the clinches, has some good knees, and her hands are pretty fast. So let me ask y'all this. What do y'all think? Who do y'all think is more well-rounded, Taylor or Montana? I'm just asking y'all, what do y'all think? Yeah, BJ, you said 12. I thought it was 12. What, Taylor cancellations, or it was 14? Yeah, Jason Rose told me it was like 14. Let's see. Yeah, I think she would get this fight to the ground. Robert said Montana's technique is limited, is only occasionally effective. Let's see. BJ said Robert, she's improving. Does Taylor have a ground game? Her ground game is okay, but I think that it would favor Montana more. So I think Montana's more used to being on the ground. Like Taylor's okay on the ground, but I think that she just needs to keep it standing, use her takedown defense. I prefer seeing her standing. Like she really hasn't had to showcase her ground game too much in what her 2 UFC fights. In my opinion, like I really got a chance to like really gauge it and say, oh yeah, she can take some of these UFC fighters to the ground and keep them there. Like I wouldn't put her in there with Jillian Robertson and think that she can handle Jillian Robertson on the ground. Like that's Jillian's home. BJ said Montana's more well-rounded. Of course, we haven't seen Taylor on the ground. Let's see. Cedric said Montana is Taylor older. Let's see. It's hard to say that. It's hard to say Montana's like well-rounded because it hasn't really shown in the performances. I think if she was well-rounded, she would have beat Andrea Lee. I think she would have dispatched with Andrea Lee if she was well-rounded, because she would have been able to counter the jab and then set up a right hand over the jab. And in that third round, whenever she almost got that submission, I think that she would have been able to capitalize on that moment. Yeah, Montana's still young. Cedric, she's like 25, and I know Taylor's like, I was gonna say 30. Nah, she ain't 30. She's 27. She's older, 2 years older. So they're both in like good positions in their career, as far as like still growing, in my opinion. I think Taylor, to me, I think Taylor has a few more tools, and she seems a little bit more polished to me. I think that I'm trying to understand like Montana, like with her hands, what's kind of like the hold up for her pulling the trigger, right? Because I'm still not seeing her like get the sweet science down. Like her hands don't look fluid. They don't look fluid. Like I said, coming from the boxing background and the boxing fan, hardcore fan, like I can tell when you're not comfortable throwing your hands. And Montana De La Rosa, she's comfortable throwing that overhand right, but she doesn't really look like comfortable letting her hands go. She doesn't look like comfortable throwing her hands go. Let me know if y'all think the same thing. I mean, just seeing Mackenzie Dern like over the past week in her hands, like she seems to be getting a little bit more comfortable. Like she's throwing that hook a little bit more fluid. Where I think Montana, like she'll throw them power shots, but I need to see more moments where she'll pull that trigger. There's too much thinking in between. BJ, Stammen said Taylor's more rounded. Montana's a superior wrestler, but that might be it. No, Taylor's well rounded. 12 of her wins are by first round. 12 of her wins by first round finish with strikes. So stamina, how is she more well rounded than Montana? Robert, Taylor appears to have a decent ground game based on what I'm seeing. I think she's physically strong. Definitely. But like I said, I would favor Montana on the ground. I think Montana, her wrestling and her ground game is better than Taylor. But I think that Taylor has a good understanding of what can happen on the ground, which is going to help her in the long run. Which to me would give her that edge in understanding that, having a better striking, and being better in the clinches with the knees, so that tells me that she's got more tools in this fight. Whereas Montana, she's really got to take it to the ground. If we always say Montana has to take it to the ground, she has to take it to the ground, that means we're saying that that's all she has. Whereas if Taylor can do a little bit here in the fight, she can fight on the inside, she can fight on the outside, that means she has more tools. That's from what I'm seeing. That's from what I'm seeing on these past fights from her. Whereas Montana, every time I see her, I say, set up the right hand, but she won't fully pull that trigger. And then she'll shoot in for the takedown. And then she'll get what she wants when she's on the ground. But she needs to be smarter with her hands, knock some people down so she don't have to worry about shooting in for the takedown all the time. What's Stammer to say? Stammer said, leave me alone. Montana said she hasn't been comfortable on the feet until the Vivian fight. Exactly. She hasn't been comfortable. That's what I said. Like, I can tell when somebody ain't, comfortable with letting them hands go and moving their feet. B just said, I just need something to back that up. Genesis, what's going on, Coach? What's going on? Genesis said, interesting talk. Yeah, just talking about who's more well-rounded. Genesis, Coach, who do y'all think is more well-rounded, Montana or Taylor? BJ, Coach, he said Taylor. Why am I mispronouncing her name? Taylor was more well-rounded. 16 wins and 12 by first-round stoppage with strikes. The Molly McCann fight, not great on the ground, but fair. BJ, so is Montana less than fair on the ground? Hey, what's going on? Yeah, Genesis, how you doing? Yeah, Genesis, let me know, Coach, let me know, who do y'all think is more well-rounded, Montana or Taylor? I can't believe she said she wasn't comfortable until that Vivian fight, because she still got outworked in that fight. That's not saying a lot, BJ. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not saying a lot there when she said she was just getting comfortable on her feet in that Vivian fight, because that's not really, that wasn't impressive. I mean, yeah, she got in some shots here and there when Vivian went stationary, but that's not that impressive, man. That wouldn't have been a good fight to say that I looked at, that's why I got comfortable with striking, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you said Taylor to a certain extent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that she has a lot going for her and a lot more tools that she can utilize in this fight with Montana. That's why I can name a couple of things she could do. I was saying with Montana last time, um, BJ said she got outworked, but she looked better than the KGB fight. She learned a lot from the Vivian fight. Yeah, yeah, she got pieced up in that KGB Lee fight, but she ate some good shots in the Vivian fight as well. Yeah, and I think Taylor, if she commits to her striking in this fight, it will be too much for Montana. I think Robert Henry said BJ, like, just because she finished the fight with strikes, guess no one can get her down. I bet Montana would love to have 12 stoppages in her career. Mm. I was taking a breath on that. I was like, "Ooh, he going in there." Um, I just think that from what I've seen, from Taylor, 16-1. Like I said, looking at her old fights, even though she was knocking people out, finishing people with strikes, I just think that she is a fighter that is going to be able to bring more to the table. Well, look, BJ, she's got to, man. She better show me something. Montana got to show me something, man. Like, Montana will get it together, but she's gonna maul Taylor. That's her best bet, man. That's her best bet. Like, she's gonna have to go in there and show me something. This is the last. What I say, the last straw. Yeah, this is like the last straw because I picked. Did I pick her to beat Vivian? I can't remember. I can't even remember. Like, did I pick her to pick Vivian or did I call that 50-50? I can't remember, but I wanted her to beat Andrea Lee, but she didn't come through. Now she's taking on Taylor Santos, and I'm not too sure. I ain't too sure she's gonna have it like that, man. So let's see. Just looking at their matchup, Montana has the 1 inch height advantage. They have the same reach, 68 inches. So Taylor's gonna be in there, working her timing, her distance to stay away from those takedowns. And another thing I see in Montana, to me, um, she kind of gives up the height a little bit. She kind of hunches over. So they'll probably be about the same height. I think she hunches over too much, and that leaves that nose wide open for the jab. She kind of hunches right over, um, and kind of sticks it out there like, "Hey, hit it." So I think she just really needs to commit to being more defensive minded to protect the nose. And like I said in past conversations, man, fighters that have distinct features like big noses or big lips, you got to protect them extra. You got to go extra hard to protect them, or you get them busted open. Look at Joe Jua. So it's not gonna take much to get it leaking again. So if Taylor's got that jab going, boy, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, man, ain't gonna be no joke. So Genesis, are you gonna welcome Clarissa Shields to the octagon? Would you be willing to do that? All right. So yeah, real quick, man, I'll give you my quick thoughts on this fight. I haven't really talked about it too much, but when I do this, I'll send out a link. Um, Robert, if you still want to come through, I want to get your thoughts on what I was talking about. Robert, if you want to come in, I'll gladly send you a link. But yeah, real quick, just might give you my thoughts on this Macy Chiasson fight. I like this match, man. I like I like Macy, as a fighter. She's exciting. I also like Mari Reneau. She's a veteran in the game. Cool lady. But this is gonna be one where I feel like uh, Mari Reneau is really gonna have to make a statement. This is one of those wins where she got to make a big statement. Oh, real quick. Genesis said I can. Yeah, I bet you could. Yeah, I've already talked about it. Like I said, I'm cool with her coming over to the mixed martial arts, to the PFL Genesis, but she got to take it seriously. This ain't oh, I'm gonna take your belt in boxing. I'm gonna take this, take that. It's not that type of world anymore. It's the type of world where you got to worry about being choked out, elbowed. Your lead leg getting chopped down, getting put in all types of chokes. You know what I mean? So I just hope she takes it with that type of approach. But yeah, Macy Chiasson versus Mari Reneau. I like this matchup. I want to see both of these fighters put on an exciting fight. I really don't have a horse in this race. It's more of a may the best woman win. I think that, like I said, they're both exciting. I like Mari and Reneau. She's cool. But this is a fight where Macy Chiasson got to make sure that, she cuts weight right. I don't want to see her come in there flat like she did like some of her past fights, like Lena Landsberg. She got to make sure she come in there making weight right. I know she says she can make 135 no problem, but sometimes it looks like it's draining her, like it's killing her, and I think that takes away from the power. But this is a fight where she's gonna have to showcase that featherweight power. Go in there, fight at a good range. Because I feel like Mari Reneau, her clinch game is good. Her ground game is, in my opinion, is better than Macy Chiasson. So that would be like Macy's. That would be Mari Reneau's main go-to, is to go in, smother the power, fight her in the clinch. Now, I don't know how long she want to stay in that clinch, because Macy Chiasson got some good knees in the clinch too. So that's what makes it interesting when they get in the fight in the clinch. So if she was to go in there, she just got to be quick and take Macy down. I think Macy's a little bit helpless on her back, especially in some of these past fights. I see when she gets down to her back, she gets in that position. Well, she's probably been working on it since then, but from what I've seen, she looks a little defensive, like she has trouble fighting off her back. But for me, I think Macy just needs to go in there and keep this standing and try to make it an early night. Do what she's known for. Robert said he got Macy by a knockout. Excuse me. Yeah, Genesis, I believe you. He said she got to bring MMA is tough for real. Yes. How long before that ego gets bruised? That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like every MMA fighter, some of the fighters I talk to talk about how your ego gets bruised when you start getting introduced to new things, but it's a humbling experience, So yeah, she's gonna have to go in there, be prepared to be humble, right? So yeah, I'm gonna talk more about this fight. I'm gonna break it down some more. I just kind of wanted to get y'all thoughts on it. Macy versus Mari Reneau. Mari Reneau, I think she looks really good for her age. She's a fighter that's she's 43 years old. She's still pushing. She's still pushing. But the question is, how long will she stay in there? Like, will this fight be the fight where they cut her? Because she hasn't had a win. 2 years, 3 years. Let's look it up real quick. Let's look this up. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was right. Okay, Mari Reneau hadn't had a win since February of 2018. She was able to beat Sarah McMahon, so it's been that long since she had a win. And after that, she lost to Kat Zingano that year. Lost a close fight to Yana Kunitskaya last year. Then she lost to Raquel Pennington. I had picked Mari Reneau. I thought she was going to beat Raquel in that fight just this past summer, but nah, man. So yeah, man. You're on a 3-fight losing streak right now. I think if Macy was to go in there and stretch her out, man, I think they would try to cut Marion Reneau. Honestly, I think if Macy went in there and got her out of there, that would be 4 fights. It'd be 4 fight losing streak. So Marion definitely got to go in there and show improve. She needs this win more than Macy needs it. I'll say that. Yeah, Stamina. I mean, I would be mad too if they cut her. I like Marion Reneau, but at the same time, um, you know, like you said, they need bantamweights, but they're not really taking it seriously as far as transitioning in some new blood. They would have, if they were smart, they would have gave Tanisha Tennant a contract. They would have just gave her a straight up contract to get into the UFC because they need bantamweights. And if Norma Dumont can get down to that weight, that would be interesting. BJ said people thought she beat Connor Sky. There you go. That's another story, man. Matter of fact, I might have to go back and watch that fight. Hey, Robert, if you still in there, man, my eyes are deceiving me. I think I lost your email in the chat. I know you put your email in the chat. I lost it. Where's your damn email? I can't find it. Damn, I really can't see it. I thought you posted it in there, but I can't see it. Yeah, send me your email again and I'll send you a link, Robert. All right, I got it. Okay. All right, I got it. I'll remove it just so nobody be trying to get that. I got it. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so overall, man, I think that's gonna be a good fight. I think that Marion Reneau, she's gonna go in here, she's gonna bring it. I think she's gonna try to get her to the ground, use that wrestling, but you really gotta get her head started on Macy Chiasson, because if you let her get into a rhythm with that power, boy, it's her power is a game changer. Let's see. She won the 3rd round, winning the 3rd round, and losing the first 2 doesn't mean you won the fight. Colton said BJ needs a link too. Oh, does he? Does he? All right. Let's see. What the hell? Give me 1 second. So who do y'all got in this fight? Who do y'all got? Macy or Marion Reneau? Macy Chiasson or Marion Reneau? Genesis, I do what? You do want to introduce Clarissa Shields to the octagon, or you do want a link? I'm not sure. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, shit. Stamina said all these capital letters are raising my blood pressure. All right. Oh, I had your email in there the whole time. All right. Just getting this set up, man. Bear with me, y'all. I ain't trying to like dead air y'all. Um, Unfortunately, Robert, that's not how it goes. BJ said he has Macy. Genesis said Link. Uh, Robert said a broken nose is a broken nose. Asked De La Rosa. Oh wow. Genesis said Reneau maybe. Yeah, man, it's a tough call. It's really a tough call. I know she got to go in there and do it though. I know she got to go in there and improve. All right. 1 second, y'all. Here we go. All right, y'all. I got a special guest in here. Robert Henry the Savage. Robert, can you hear me? Let me know if I.
Hold on.
Hey, mute that mic for a second till you get situated.
Hello.
All right, I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, do we just want to go down the topics or just start wherever?
Yeah, let's go down to topics, man. First of all, y'all know who's in the building. That's Robert Henry. That's AKA Savage, WMMA fan. Let me know if y'all can hear him. Say something, Rob.
Savage. Y'all hear that? Am I clear? Damn it. Trying to find the man, this shit pissed me off. Oh, sorry. Watch my voice. Words. All right. So the first topic was Clarissa Shields, right?
Yes, sir. Clarissa Shields coming into signing with PFL, making her MMA debut.
Man, I mean, I commend her for wanting to, jump out there and venture into new pastures and, maybe make a little bit more money and just, expand their skill set. But the reality is that when she said that she was trying to earn a black belt in like 2 years, my comment on it was like, you're trying to learn something in 2 years that take a lifetime to learn. You know what I'm saying? And while she might, in a short amount of time, I don't know about 2 years, but learn to be good enough on the ground to fight maybe some amateurs or some lower tier MMA fighters, you definitely don't need to be calling out Amanda Nunes or Chris Cyborg. That's the first thing. That's number one, because that's just disaster waiting to happen. Number two, I think, was she like 25? She got time.
Yeah, she's about 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she got time, and I just think she should go slow. But the problem is that I don't know how the PFL is run versus the something like Bellator or UFC. I just wonder, are they gonna give her that much time to like really build up real slow? I mean, like the UFC somewhat did it with certain fighters and whatnot, but even then they had to at least go up every now and then to see could they actually handle a top contender. So I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I just think she needs to take her time and move real slow, because like everybody's saying, this is not boxing. This is complicated in a completely different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Because my thing too is like, what's the angle with the PFL? Because like PFL, we may say, us that's been watching MMA for a while, we can say, oh, certain people aren't on a certain level with certain fighters in the UFC, but still these lower level fighters in the PFL could really do damage to Clarissa Shields.
Yeah.
especially if they trying to go in there and like prove something. Like if they go, oh, I want to beat this so-called GOAT, they might try to go in there and really try to put that work on her. So on her level, even the PFL is like another, just a totally different realm. Like that's why I was saying I wanted to see her do some amateur fights first, maybe. Get a few amateur fights in, and even like do some grappling tournaments. I wanted to see her do something like that first.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Definitely need to do some amateur fights. She may need 10 or 12, to be honest with you. I mean, simply because of the adjustment. Like she's going from boxing to, like, it's not like how Holly Holm was boxing, then she kickboxed, and she would move around a little bit. And you see that Holly Holm is just not kind of getting there with the complete game.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think, I mean, it ain't no shame in getting there closer to 30, in my opinion. I mean, at least you'll be a better fighter. You would be still within your prime as a boxer, but still coming on as a mixed martial artist. And I'm not saying everybody's gonna be like man Reneau, because she's an exception to the rule. But still, it's a sport where you can come on late. It's a sport where you're not necessarily in your prime until you're like 32, 33. At least a lot of fighters, So
Mm-hmm.
I think she should just take her time. That's what I wish Mika Anderson did. I wish she would have stayed Invicta for like 2, 3 more years. Work on the ground game. Work on your overall strategies as a striker, grappler, and she probably would have been better off for it. So yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a good point though. Like waiting to be in your 30s to like go into the UFC and even like Bellator or whatever, like that's not a bad thing. I mean, a lot of these fighters, some of these younger fighters that succeed in the UFC, like early 20 somethings, they succeed like that because they've been doing it since they were like kids, the 8-year-old wrestlers, and they've been in the game for like that long. But the fighters that really like just started flourishing, like Cyborg and Nunes, they had to take L's in the beginning. They took some L's and they took some, low checks for, some high risk fights. So you got to be prepared for that. Like Clarissa, she has to be prepared for that to, kind of get her ego bruised a little bit with those type of situations.
Yeah, I think in fighting, particularly MMA, there's what you want to do, and there's what you're able to actually do. What you want to do versus what you're able to do. And if you look at a lot of these early fights, whether it's Chris or Nunes, at some point they run into somebody that can neutralize what they're good at. And they need to either compensate with it by either being better defensively and offensively, or offensively and in sports. Now, I can't say this. I'm not an expert. I don't know if this is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
But the general idea is offense tends to come a little quicker if you're actually good, Like some people are really naturally good defensively, so they can play defense.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, those people who can play defense can probably play offense to a degree because they're either naturally so athletic or they just have the mind for the game. They can adjust quicker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Versus somebody who's just out there grinding and kind of learning, but they're not quite there yet. So you got these athletic people who can just, either they're so focused and they got the athleticism, or they just like a freak of nature. They can do whatever. But I think the problem that she's going to have is I think she's going to be better offensively going in the octagon. But I think she already got the striking to a degree. We know that cage striking is not the same as boxing striking. And if she can get off some kicks, I mean, she probably can learn them within a few butts. But it takes a long time to really develop to where it's like second nature. Mm-hmm. And one thing I want to bring up before I segue into this Santos De La Rosa fight is when you look at the breakdown of wrestlers and blah, blah, I need some water. Hold on, give me a second. Jiu-jitsu specialists. And anyway, when you look at wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all that, you can tell the ones who are really experienced and really great at it because they don't even have to look sometimes. You know, like say somebody's trying to turn and then they'll do a move and they'll lock their foot in place or they'll pick their foot up over the, once somebody release their foot, they put it over the behind it, you know, do like a triangle.
Yeah.
Put over their head.
It comes to, it's like whenever it's like whenever you don't have to look at it at that point because you can just feel the movement of the person on top of you. You know what I mean? Like that's something even like in boxing, like inside fighting. If you feel like a person shift their shoulder, you know when they're about to throw a certain punch. So you're one step ahead of them. You know, so I think the same thing can be said for those fighters that, you know, they live on the ground. They know whenever a fighter's about to try to, you know, put that triangle on them, you know, or like try to get in that guard or whatever, you know, it's like second nature to them.
Yeah, it's kind of like you ever see a spider or some type of predator insect where it just moves at the right time. Like, oh, you're on my web, bam, strike. Or, you know, I time it. I time my movement or to fly over here to grab you. Like,
right.
It's like yeah. And I think she's gonna have a problem with that because you can have it's just like anything else. You can have all the information, you know, and you can even have the motion, but can you put it together? So, I mean, she may have a bright future, but she may have to take some whoopings to get it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Okay, and I see Genesis said in the comments section she need like more than 10 or 12 fights. Wow. You said you put her. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, she does because she didn't have any amateur fights. You know, she's jumping straight into the pros, so she's gonna need like 10, 12 good fights to just get the basics down, you know, just to get comfortable. Like even then, like after like the 12th or 13th fight, I wouldn't put her in there with like the best Invicta fighter. You know.
Did Kayla Harrison have an amateur career?
Oh yeah, just so y'all know, that's BJ. He in the house. What's going on, BJ?
Yeah, just real quick. Did Kayla Harrison go amateur?
Did she go amateur?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think she did. I don't think Kayla Harrison, she came straight from judo to MMA.
I thought she jumped straight in after the Olympics and went straight in.
I thought she did too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe, I mean, and it's proven successful for her given the fact that she picks and chooses her opponents. But look at how it's worked out for Kayla Harrison, and I think that, I mean, well, Kayla Harrison had the judo thing down pat, so that's more of a jump than the boxing thing. But I mean, it's working out for her.
Yeah, as long as you feed them, as long as they feed you the right food, you know, you'll look good.
Right.
Yeah.
Stamina said BJ sounds terrible compared to you guys.
He is in the background a little bit. I can hear him clearly, but I don't know how everybody else is hearing him.
Yeah.
I'm using my Bluetooth. Can you wait a minute, let me turn the Bluetooth headset off. Hold on.
While I'm waiting, Stamina said, is Clarissa undefeated in boxing?
Is that much better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
That's more level.
Yeah, Clarissa's undefeated
okay.
in boxing, Stamina. Yeah, because she's gonna need to learn how to lose the MMA. That's mandatory. Yeah, that's true, man. Especially coming from the boxing world. But yeah, she's undefeated, and I mean that stands for a lot for her in boxing. So that's another thing that she's gonna have to learn as far as being humble. But what's your take on that, real quick, BJ? Like as far as her transition.
I mean, just good luck. I think we've been a little bit too critical of her. Just good luck. You know, I hope she does well.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat because I mean we've seen worse come over to mixed martial arts and they kind of make a career out of it. So
right,
I'm fine with it. But jumping on to fight night, you know, December 5th, we got Montana De La Rosa versus Taylor Santos. Starting with you, Robert. Who do you got in this fight, and who do you think is more well-rounded? I know y'all talk about
Well,
in the chat. That's why I just want to hear what you hear your
oh
take.
yeah. Well, I'll be honest. I'm still, even though I picked Santos and I believe Santos is going to win this fight, because I do think she's the more well-rounded fighter. I don't necessarily believe she's a better grappling specialist, but I think she has the physicality to beat Montana De La Rosa. Now, what I'm about to say is going to sound, I'm not saying this to be mean, okay? And feel free to disagree. But I think when Montana De La Rosa runs into some people who are good strikers, very physical, and have the size to stop the takedown, then she tends to get in trouble. Now, she's a game fighter. She's not gonna she's not gonna give up or give in to anything. I give it to her. I mean, she didn't took some beatings a lot of people wouldn't have been able to take. So I'm saying that respectfully. But she really, for Montana to win, she really needs to essentially get a takedown around. Like she needs to get at least one takedown every round, and then when she get on the ground, she got to make most of what she does when she get on the ground. And if she can get Santos weakened enough, she is a good submission specialist. She's a good finisher. I have to give her credit. When she's in position to finish, she's pretty strong, right? But I think what's going to happen in this fight is I think Santos is going to keep her away. I think between putting her on the cage, those mixing in them leg kicks, Montana is vulnerable to leg kicks. So if she can't adjust to those leg kicks, and like I was watching the Molly McCann, I know it's a different fighter, but is Montana De La Rosa a good as striker as Molly McCann? No. If Molly McCann was Montana De La Rosa's size, you see what I'm saying? Like she'd probably be a little bit more successful. I'm not gonna say that she would be dominating. So I I gotta go with Santos in this. I'm not saying it's not gonna be a close fight, but I
Mm-hmm.
think eventually Mont Santos' game is going to prevail over Montana, and I think Montana is going to take some damage. I don't know if she's going to look like last fight, but I think she's gonna take some damage this fight. So I'll go with Santos by a unanimous decision. It could be worse, but I think it's going to be a unanimous decision.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta give credit with Montana, her chin and her heart. Like I don't see her getting stopped in this fight because we seen her battered and bloody before, but like the girl can survive a fight. Um, BJ, what's your take coming up, man?
Um, hold on, I'll eat something real quick. Um, Man, I feel like we're gonna see a better Montana De La Rosa in this fight. She struggled. When you're a young fighter, man, that's another thing. You got to think about these young fighters. These young fighters have to test themselves, man. And even though De La Rosa took that L to Viviane Araújo, she said in her latest interview that she learned a lot from that fight. Since she had to get to the point where she had to feel comfortable on the feet. You know what I'm saying? She lost that fight, and I think it's a learning lesson for De La Rosa. You know what I'm saying? But I think she's going to be a smarter fighter going going ahead. I think she's going to be a smarter fighter, and I think we'll see a better transitional Montana De La Rosa. We'll see her. We'll see her, using. I think we'll see more of her using that jab and using that right hand to set up the takedowns and whatnot. And I think that she's gonna, because Montana's a big flyweight, man. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a big flyweight, so she can really impose that size on a lot of her opponents. So I think that's what she's gonna, because she trained at a different camp for the last fight, which was mostly just working on her striking. You know what I'm saying? And now she's back home, and she's getting that grappling work back in. You know what I'm saying? Because that her home camp, they focus on her grappling, man. They focus on the skills that she is strongest at. You know what I'm saying? So, I think we'll see a very grappler heavy Montana De La Rosa. She'll be selective with her strikes and try to land the big shots to get in and get the takedown. So I think that's what we'll see. I don't think we'll see the Montana who's trying to play around on the feet with Taylor Santos. She's aware of the danger that Taylor Santos is. So we'll see.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's my thing that I want to see from Montana is like learn from a fight like the Vivian fight, but don't try to mimic what she does. Just know what to look for when somebody tries to strike with you. Like when she goes in against Taylor, I want to see her studying Taylor, not trying to mimic or strike with her, but know whenever she's about to throw a certain punch, know how she's going to position herself so she can get the takedown. You know what I mean?
And Montana has to work the counter striking too, because Viviane Araújo caught on to it very early in the fight that Montana was counter punching, was catching her on the counter, so she started fainting. I don't think if Montana does take that approach, I'm not quite sure if Taylor Santos. I think Taylor's a little wild, man. That's one thing about Taylor Santos, man. She can get wild. And see, I was expecting Viviane Araújo to get wild like that, and she didn't. You know what I'm saying? She didn't. She stayed composed, and it won her the fight. And Combo, before that fight, we talked, and I said, you know, I feel like if Viviane Araújo comes in this fight wild, you know what I'm saying, then we always see a composed Montana De La Rosa. I feel like Montana could catch her. You know what I'm saying? I said, I feel like if Montana wants to fight Viviane Araújo on the feet, and Araújo's being wild and crazy on the feet, I feel like De La Rosa can catch her. But that ain't what we got. We got a very composed, very technical Araújo.
Right.
If Taylor Santos comes out wild, you know what I'm saying, then for me, the chances of Montana catching her with those long, straight punches it goes up. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think we'll see that Montana. I don't think we'll see that same Montana this fight. I think we'll see more of the Montana that mauled Nadia Chiasson. You know what I'm saying? That type of Montana is what we'll see.
Okay. Now, going back up to Robert, like, if she was to take that approach and maul somebody like Taylor Santos, do you think Taylor has the physical strength to counter that, Robert?
Go ahead.
I think so. Now that's a good question. I think we'll see if she takes that approach. I think Santos at least has enough strength to maybe break some of them holds and maybe throw some good elbows and knees. I think it'll be competitive. I'll say that much. I'm not 100% sure who's better in the clinch. I just think that she would give Montana some go in the clinch, especially if Montana De La Rosa isn't able to quite get her down.
Montana's not good in the clinch. I have to say that. Like, she's not a clinch fighter. Like, she's more of a power double leg or single leg. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's more Montana. She's not like, she ain't really much of grinding you out in the clinch, though. She's not really a clinch fighter like 2K. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just saying that because I know they both got some size, you know, and I figure that it may be a little competitive. But I do think Santos' athleticism in the clinch might be a little too much. So yeah. But again, she's not gonna lay down. So like I said, there may be some interesting moments. But then she could, you know, every now and then people get into those clinches and somebody slip underneath a leg or, you know, or force a pull down to the ground. So there may be a way. There may be a way for Montana there if Santos isn't careful.
And see, that's why I really wanted to see. I was really hoping that the Jillian Robertson Santos fight happened because I wanted to see how Taylor Santos dealt with somebody like Jillian, who's not going to engage her in the striking. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jillian's going to go for the takedown or the clinch because that's what Jillian does. Like, I wanted to see how if Taylor Santos's gas tank could hold up to Jillian Robertson, because that's a hard fight, man. That's a hard fight for somebody like Jillian and somebody like Santos who has cardio issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Montana uses that same style, then Taylor Santos can be in some trouble, man. Montana wears her out against the cage, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, puts her body with, because Montana probably gonna walk. They probably both gonna walk in about 140. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's the question.
That was what I was just about to ask y'all. Who y'all think has the tank for the long haul in this fight? To go into deep waters.
For sure, Montana. We've never seen Montana gas. Like, we've seen Montana gas. I mean, I guess you could call it gas in the KGB fight, but I mean, if that's what you call gas, then it is what it is. But definitely Montana, I think, has the better cardio.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with Coach. He said her jiu-jitsu is very good. Just because I looked at a couple of tapes of her old fights, and I thought she looked decent on the ground. But I mean, I think she has a good grasp of her jiu-jitsu. But I really wouldn't want to see Santos take a chance and go on the ground with Montana when she has other tools to use. So yeah, that's a good point he brought up.
She may not have a choice.
Yeah. So yeah. I know who Robert's picking for this fight. Like you said, BJ, how do you think Montana's going to do it in this fight?
I see a submission round 2, man. Round 2.
Wow.
I think Montana get it. I think she'll get the takedown in round 1, and she'll dominate. She'll dominate Taylor Santos. In the first round on the ground. I think she'll get the fight to the ground in the first round and dominate. Second round, I think Montana will come out throwing strikes and then get Taylor engaging on the feet, and then she'll go for another one, and then she'll go for the finish.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one because, like I said, I want to see Taylor Santos excel a little bit because, like, it's almost like with this many cancellations, like, this is another question for y'all. With this many cancellations, is it almost like other fighters or other training camps know about her and they're trying to avoid Taylor Santos?
I don't think it's trying to avoid him. I think it's just situational stuff. And it's only been a couple of fights in the UFC, but over her career, it's been a lot of fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a lot of fights over her career that have been canceled, not just in the UFC. It's just that the trend continued in the UFC, but yeah, I don't think nobody's scared of Taylor Santos. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Like, Marina Monroe's had the visa issues. Jillian Robertson got the Courtney Casey fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Santos had travel issues with COVID. That's why she couldn't make the Jillian fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think anybody's really scared of Taylor Santos. I think that's just like that's not really like. There's no evidence really to support that. Like, nobody has pulled out of a fight or ducked a fade with Taylor Santos. I mean, people pulled out of the fight, but there's been like legit reasons that they pulled out of the fight.
Okay.
And like, at least in the UFC, maybe outside the UFC, girls probably were ducking her, but in the UFC, I don't think anybody's ducking Taylor Santos.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking to myself, it's too early on to call her a boogie woman, but
right.
Yeah. So yeah, got y'all's takes on that, man. Moving on to this Macy Chiasson Martin Reneau fight. Robert, what's your takes on this fight? How do you like this matchup?
I know who I want to win, but if BJ don't mind, you can go first.
Okay.
It's sort of a 50-50 fight. Because if Marion Reneau comes out and uses her jiu-jitsu, man, and if she comes out with the jiu-jitsu, then she put Macy on her back. She's going to have to kind of, in a way, fight the same fight that Felicia Spencer fought against Megan Anderson. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to put Macy big ass down. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if Marion Reneau fights the same fight that she fought with Yana Kunitskaya, man, she gonna get hurt. I mean, she was lucky that Kunitskaya ain't really got no one-punch power, no stinging power except for the elbows. You know what I'm saying? Because as many shots as Kunitskaya landed, if that was Chiasson don't need that many chances to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Like, she don't need that many opportunities to hurt you. So Reneau got to be careful on the feet, man, because Macy gonna come out aggressive. Macy got a point to prove. She gonna come out aggressive, and Reneau got to get it down ASAP. She got to get Macy. She got to neutralize Macy Chiasson ASAP, and she can't clinch with Macy either, man. Like she can't clinch with Macy because she can't allow Macy to dominate the clinch because we seen on the Ultimate Fighter how Macy finished Leah Lesson with those nasty knees to the body. If you let Macy start throwing knees in the clinch, Macy gonna do damage, man. She gonna do real damage in the clinch with those knees. So, I mean, it's a dangerous fight for Reneau, but everything to gain for Chiasson.
Yeah, this is definitely a situation where, like I said, Macy lose, it'd be okay. She can still come back from it. It's a learning experience for her. But Marion Reneau, she's on this like I said, 3-fight losing streak. Hasn't had a win in 2 years. This might be one of those fights where they start to clean house if she doesn't, come through and make a statement and win.
Right.
Well, I gotta agree with BJ on this. This is a dangerous fight.
What?
This is a dangerous fight. This is a real dangerous fight. I think she could win it. I believe she's sharp enough of a striker, maybe even a little bit sharper. But the problem is, like he alluded to, how many of those hits is she gonna be able to take? Like if she get caught flush, that could be a problem. But Marion's tough. I mean, but Marion's been in there with the best. So I feel like if she could basically stay away from the power hand of Macy Chiasson, if she could somehow get this fight to the ground, I think she can put her in that triangle and wear her out. I mean, she's not limited to the triangle. It's just that one of her best finishing moves. The clinch thing, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go, but I know that Marion has a tendency to get wore out in the clinch, especially in recent years. And she's getting up there, but I still think she has the skill to beat Macy. But it's like is the youthfulness and the size and the power. That's what makes this fight interesting. But I still feel like she's the better fighter, even if that's not by like a great super margin. I feel like she's game. I really hope she wins this fight because, like you said, man, this could be it. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Marion. I'm biased. I'm biased. I think she can win this fight. I think it's a hard fight, but I think she's also been in there with big bangers and been able to pull it out. So I'm going with the bruiser on this one.
All right. Well, let's not ignore the real thing that just happened here. Y'all two agreed on something. That's the major thing right there.
I know, right?
That's the elephant. We gotta acknowledge that. In chat, y'all gotta acknowledge that they just agreed on something. But yeah,
we actually agreed more times throughout the week than we actually acknowledged, because there was one time in the comment section a couple of days ago. I forget what it was. I forget the topic. I don't know was he on my channel or was I on his channel, but I commented. I said, okay, yeah, we definitely agree on that. So it is what it is.
Right.
We gotta agree on something, man. There's too many topics out here for us to disagree on every damn thing, man.
But yeah. Look, I agree with y'all on it. I think that I like both fighters in this one. That's why it's hard for me to just like pick straight up, because I like what they both bring to the table. I think Marion Reneau, like I said, is cool. She's a veteran in the game, been watching her first, but I think this is one of those fights where Macy, she's dangerous inside and outside. Those knees are vicious, man. She be stopping people to the body with them knees. So it's just when you factor that in and factor that she's gonna push her for 3 rounds. I hate to bring up age, but at 43, I gotta wonder if she can hang with the 20-somethings, like this.
And this ain't not to bang on boxing, but boxing is so much. I mean, it's a very difficult sport. I ain't taking nothing for boxing, but it's not like B-hop boxing. Like when you in your 40s in mixed martial arts, that's remarkable enough. that you even can fight on this level, right?
Yeah.
So ain't no shame if she loses this fight at all. I mean, because at one point she was getting up there, she just, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what her career would have been if things were different or whatnot? I'm not saying she having a great career by most people's standards, just considering her age. Okay, she's a phenomenal athlete. Period. But outside of just this sport, but to be honest with you, yeah, this looks like one of those fights. I hope it isn't. I really do. It looked like one of those indirect retirement fights where like they basically threw in there with somebody who's like, well, look, it's kill or be killed, man. That's what it is. And the thing about man don't care. Man go fight anybody. So that's what's gonna make it a great fight.
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting, man, because it's like they all kind of throwing it to the lions after a 3-fight losing streak. But that's how it is in the UFC, man. Like there really is no, I mean, there is soft touch with certain levels, but man, like on that level, there really is none. You just got to go in there, like you said, kill or be killed. But
the more you keep losing,
yeah,
the more competition, or it may, like, you might win like Danger Dobson did, but still somebody called her out. Like if there's a hungry younger lion or lioness that say, hey, I take care of them, that's what's gonna happen. And not that Macy is on the youngest side, but she still got something to prove. So
yeah. Stamina brought this up. I saw like part of this earlier, but yeah, I didn't think it was worth mentioning yet because there wasn't no opponent. But Stamina said, I expected someone to bring it up already, but let's hear some opinions on the news that broke earlier. Alexis Davis versus Sabina Mazo.
Wow.
February 27th at 135. Now, who want to go first on that? What's y'all's reaction to that, man?
I'll go first since last time I asked BJ to go first.
All right.
I'm still processing this dope combo. I ain't gonna lie, but
I am too.
Cause I love both of these fighters for two different reasons, right? Alexis Davis is. I mean, I caught up with some of her fights. She was good in her heyday, and I like the fact that she beat Amanda Nunes because I don't like Amanda Nunes, so that's just my little ha moment, right? But I respect her as a veteran, a pioneer in the game. And, Sabina Mazo, she coming up. But at 135, that's the thing. If you were telling me this was at 125, I'd be like, hey, love you, Alexis, but you about to get smoked in this fight. Like, you're not going to be able to handle the kicks. You're not going to be able to handle the combinations. I just think that the longer the fight goes, the more that Alexis Davis is going to get exposed, unless somehow she get on the ground. But at 135, I'm going to give Alexis a little bit higher bit of a chance, if it is in fact the 135, because you don't know how those fighters are going to look.
The tweet says women's bantamweight. The tweet says #WBW.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. It's
Yeah, I'm saying 135.
Yeah, 135. Yeah. That's what makes it even more shocking. That's why I want to get y'all's shocking reaction on that, man. That's crazy.
But just to wrap up my thoughts on it, at 135, I'm going to give Alexa Davis, because at first I was giving her like a 10% chance of winning the fight. But at 135, I'm going to give her a 30 to 35% chance, But I still see Sabina Mazo winning this fight because I think she's too fast and too slick.
Too fast?
Too fast and too slick.
Oh.
I think she's going to catch Alexis Davis in a lot of. She can put in a lot of uncomfortable situations. Like, I'm just looking at it in terms of the stand-up, but, like, I don't even know if Alexis Davis got any more on the ground. But at 135, maybe that little bit of extra plus rehydration makes, because Mazo is not the, thickest, she's not the most physical fighter. I mean, she's physical though, so I'm just factoring that in. That's all. But go ahead. What's your thoughts on it, BJ?
Man, yeah, somebody in the comment section said Sabina only has that leg kick, really, and Alexis Davis is experienced enough to block that, I would think. The kicks are all Sabina has, and Alexis is a zombie. Yeah, you gotta factor that in. Like, Alexis Davis, she gonna keep coming forward. She gonna keep throwing shots, and Alexis Davis is actually really good on the ground. If this fight
She is.
If this fight was 125 or at 135 pounds, I still see it swinging in the way of Alexis Davis, because I just feel like Alexis Davis is too crafty to let the slow style, like that slow robotic style of Sabina Mazo, really be a problem for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sabina Mazo really ain't that fast. Like, she ain't. Like, she long. She long. She lanky. She kind of like James Vick in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, she moved kind of like James Vick. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't think she got deceptive speed at all? Nothing.
I mean, I think she has deceptive power. You know what I'm saying? I think her power is deceptive because her movement looks so slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when she hits you, Sabina Mazo cracks. You know what I'm saying? So, and she's got those knees too. Those that she's got that good Muay Thai clinch where she pulls the head, snatches the head down, and comes up the middle with that knee. Like, she's great with that. You know what I'm saying? But we seen Alexis Davis, man. Alexis Davis can get hit, and she gonna keep coming forward, boxing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, Alexis Davis is good at throws and trips and clinch. You know what I'm saying? She's good at that. Like, Alexis Davis, we've seen her take some L's, but she's still good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's still Sabina Mazo. Sabina Mazo just ain't like the she just ain't
developed enough.
Not that she's developed enough. It's just the style. Like, she's not. It's like she don't have those fast twitch muscles. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just not a very. She's. I don't know, man. It's hard to put a title on her style, how she moves.
Well,
she moves very weird.
Did y'all,
you know what I'm saying?
Did y'all bring up the fact that she can be a slow starter?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes her a while to get going in the fights, like, and Alexis Davis, man, if we know Alexis Davis how she gonna fight, she gonna come out, she gonna come right at it. You know what I'm saying? No matter how long Alexis Davis been off, she's still Alexis Davis.
Yeah.
She's a veteran in the game, and time off don't really affect those veterans like that, because those veterans are used to being in the game. They've had long layoffs before. You know what I'm saying? Alexis Davis has kids, has a kid. She's been out before, so we'll see, man. We'll see. It's definitely interesting that it's at 135, though.
Yeah, I think that, Alexis Davis is definitely game, and it's going to be interesting. I'll say that. But I do think, though, that I have a feeling that Sabina can pull it off. I just do. Now,
she might.
Again, I might have to look at it and examine it, but, she didn't start off slow in the fight against, who was that? Danger Dobson. Now, she definitely did start off slow, so now maybe you can argue, well, she caught her early with something, but that's all it takes. I think all it's going to take is somebody to get hit real hard and catch the wrong, So maybe it is closer to 50-50, but the way that I'm interpreting it, you know what, let me say it like this. It depends on how does Davis show up. If Davis really shows up and she's looking good, her movement, then yeah, it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think like what Roger just brought up in the comment section and what Stamina said, I don't like this fight one bit for Sabina. Like, personally, I don't like it for her. And the fact is it's at 135, and that's why I'm shocked, like, why this is a 135 and it's not a short notice fight, because both of these.
Maybe Sabina having trouble making that weight, man. She one of them big flyweights.
Is she like big? I mean, she's like tall, like she's mostly got height to her, like, but she isn't really like a thick girl, I'm thinking that she has time to make that weight. It's February 27th.
You never know.
But maybe it's Alexis Davis wanting to come up to 135 and not.
It could be that. It could be that.
Maybe Sabina Mazo is taking the fight at 135. Maybe it's Alexis Davis, because Alexis Davis is older. She's a veteran. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's gonna be harder for her over time to keep, going to flyweight. It was a good idea at first. You know what I'm saying? But Alexis Davis is what? How old is Alexis Davis? 36, 30.
She's gotta be like 35.
She's like in her mid-30s now. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like maybe that weight is getting hard for Alexis Davis, and then Sabina Mazo sees this as an opportunity to beat a former title challenger and to beat somebody who has a win over Amanda Nunes. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's Sabina Mazo jumping at the opportunity.
Yeah, I could see that because Alexis Davis. I was just asking the other day where she was at. So her with the long layoff is probably it would probably be more hell for her to make 125. So
right.
She's like, if I want to come back now, 135 is what I can do. So let's do it. And Mazo, like on her IG earlier, she said I got exciting news for a fight. So I guess she was cool with it. Stamina says Sabina has expressed an interest in taking fights at 135 before. Who knows what her gym and her training is in these mad times, and maybe 135 is a lower risk commitment. Yeah, it could be.
Right.
Hey, I do know that bantamweight needs new blood too. So hey. Roger said Mick is booked well in advance. Oh, it's booked well in advance. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, shoot.
So you got like what, 3 months?
Right.
Like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good fight. Man, I was hoping if this fight was at 125, I think it would have a little more meaning to it, because Alexis Davis is ranked at 125, and this will be Sabina Mazo's opportunity to get ranked, but that's at 135. So it's kind of like, I think it'll still have some kind of play at 125. Let's say Sabina Mazo beats Alexis Davis, and then they take Alexis Davis out of the flyweight rankings. They'll probably put Sabina Mazo in the flyweight rankings. You know what I'm saying?
You think she'll? Okay. You think she'll come in at like number 15 if she beats Alexis Davis?
If she beats Alexis Davis, yeah, I still think this fight has implications on the rankings at 125, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that because I think it's. If Alexis Davis don't do something, they're going to take her out of the rankings at 135. I mean, at 125, they're going to take her out eventually. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I feel like sometimes when a fighter is not active, they siphon that fighter out of the rankings. And I think if Sabina Mazo beats her, then they would probably siphon Alexis Davis out and put Sabina Mazo in out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that would be interesting, though, if they did that. Roger said he usually Mick usually books his first quarter of fights by the early part of December. Oh, okay. All right, that's interesting to know. But yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Sabina Mazo can do. I'm curious to see if she'll carry power up to 135. And if she's ready for that, experienced style of Alexis Davis. So it's definitely a big move for her. She wants to take on a veteran, take a chance at 135. But anything else y'all wanted to talk about real quick, man?
Hey, man, you guys, I got to get off of here, but go run over to probably tomorrow. Run over to bloodycanvas.net, guys, and check out the article I done on Taylor Santos versus De La Rosa. It's a really good, breakdown article. So check that out. The title of it is The Tale of Two Stories, Santos versus De La Rosa. So bloodycanvas.net, be checking that out, guys. It should be published by tomorrow. And that's all I got.
All right, we'll do, man. And subscribe to No Filter MMA. I'll check you later, BJ.
Yes, sir. Peace out, man.
Later, man.
Peace.
So, Robert, any final thoughts, anything you wanted to discuss that's going on in the women's MMA world?
Only that it's interesting that two things. One, it's interesting that so many fighters, it took like a few years. You've seen a lot more people calling people out, a lot more people taking fights. I mean, I think that as tragic as the Corona thing has been, it actually has inspired people to kind of just go after it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like this time last year, I don't know what made Clarissa Shields say, "Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and do it this time." But instead of just saying, "I want to fight somebody," like trying to prove her work. I mean, she's showing that she actually wants to do it. And she didn't do the Tyson Fury thing. Well, that's a whole nother kind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going there. But go work out with some MMA specialists or whatever. But it really ain't got anything to do with MMA. It's just something you learn so you could do little certain things while you boxing and stuff. Like, she's serious. And like I said, it feels bad sometimes looking at it, but it ain't bad. It's a matter of what what Clarissa Shields gonna make of it, right?
Right.
For Kayla Harrison, that just looks bad. That just looks bad, and I don't even want to like I told myself I'm not even gonna like talk about her no more on my channel. I didn't did enough on Kayla Harrison. Like, until something significant happened,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna even talk about Kayla Harrison. But
You cooked
and
up
the
some
second
gourmet
thing
meals
is,
over there, bro.
go.
You've been sauteing it up over there. Just so you know, hey, what's going on, Coach? Coach Shelton Harrison in the building.
Oh, my damn Kayla Harrison.
Oh
I
shit!
can't about no damn Kayla. I can't
Man.
about no damn Kayla.
Yeah, Kayla.
Yeah.
I'll say this real quick, and then
Hype job, Harrison.
I'll say this only coach to have a few words, and then I'll get off and listen. But listen,
Oh, I'm cooking.
it's been like 125. This has been the most at the 125 division. Like, we've been like for 2 months. Like, they actually legit have been trying to figure it out. So again, it's exciting, but 135, it's like 135 don't even exist, and like 115 is on standstill until that road fight. It's interesting though, but that we spend so many time. But I bet it's like 100 videos between all of us, just on Valentina, Maya, Della Rosa, or some other fighter. You know what I'm saying? So and, I have some more videos out tomorrow and later this week. Savage WMMA fan, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on the show again. Doing a fantastic job, sir. Keep it up. And I'm out. Peace.
All right, later, man. I got
God damn.
Coach in the house. What's going on, bro?
Robert here and leaving. Damn.
Yeah, he was he was done cooking for the night. Like he said, he didn't want to go in too much on your favorite fighter Harrison too much. So he kept it clean. But Coach,
I'll go in on.
All right, yeah, hold that thought, man. I wanted to get your thoughts. Well, I already seen your videos, but I just wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about. I just did a video myself about Clarissa Shields and her move to PFL. Like, all the talking aside, as far as what she's saying, like, is PFL a good choice for her to move to make a debut?
Yeah, because they put her in there with a bunch of scrubs, which that's what she needs. Because see, Clarissa had to clean this up, man. Let me go ahead and tell you, man. Let me tell you the whole story. Look, Clarissa had to clean this shit up. Okay, she had to clean it up because she running around here talking about I want to fight Nunez and Cyborg, and she watched these videos, man. Clarissa Shields is a notorious person. She go in on trolls. Okay, she do. So she watched all these videos. Okay, I know she probably seen mine. She cleaned it up real quick. Oh well, what sense do that make if I go into the sport and fight this person who's been on top of the game? It's called strategy. Yeah, okay, yeah, strategy. Somebody gave you the bad strategy because she came out blazing. I want to fight the best. Okay, yeah, you do. You want to fight the best, but you gotta wait. The PFL is good. They good and bad. They shady. Okay. Now I told all of y'all about this. When the PFL and Kayla Harrison, isn't it funny, man? How Kayla Harrison like people like Janaya Fabian. Mysteriously, she couldn't fight Kayla Harrison. We still don't know why. Roberta Samad, and I actually thought Roberta Samad had the best chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Roberta Samad can't make the damn weight. Roberta Samad been a damn featherweight her whole damn career. She been making featherweight for her whole career. How she missed weight coming in at 155 pounds? How? How the hell Roberta Samad missed weight? See, the PFL, they shady, man. They're real shady. And see, people saying, well, man, you sitting here, coach, you know, you talking about a sister. Man, shut up. I don't want the sister getting done wrong. And I don't want the sister walking in ignorance, okay? I don't want to walk in ignorance. Because she was sitting here saying, you know, hey, maybe in 2 years I get my BJJ black belt. I said, well, pump the brakes. That's ignorance. Okay? Somebody gonna get Carissa Shields' ass whooped. I'm talking about hurt badly. Because somebody telling her this stuff, man. Somebody telling her this stuff. And you know Ray Sefo, man. Ray Sefo a shady looking character anyway. That president of PFL, he real shady looking. I can tell you right now. Of course he'll put Carissa in a couple of fights to make some money, man. And then Carissa, you know, get in there with somebody who can sublex her arm, you know, just really fuck that arm all up. Then how is she gonna be able to box? Because boxing is her bread and butter. What's she gonna be able to do? The PFL, they need to carefully, strategically find her opponents. They need, yes, and I'm saying it, Carissa need to fight 6 to 7 scrubs, okay? Before she get out to the world of MMA. Because she's not getting an amateur career. I mean, do you understand? When you don't get an amateur career in mixed martial arts, like an amateur career is pretty much, it's pertinent. If you don't get it, your career is going to be detrimental to your career. She ain't getting it. She's going right to the pros. Okay. You get in there with a mediocre fighter that's got any kind of jiu-jitsu, anything. They taking you to the ground, and they're going to be successful. It can be a flat-footed fighter. It can be a smaller fighter. It don't matter, because when you don't have technique and when you don't have the skill set, you're going for the ride. Okay, you're going for that ride. I don't care any of you Carissa Shields lovers, okay? All of y'all, you can shut up before, you know, we smack the yellow right off your teeth. Y'all can shut up about that. Because the thing of it is, man, what we telling her here is the truth, okay? I want Carissa in MMA combo. I want another black woman. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
But see, Carissa got a name. You don't think the PFL, they sitting here licking their chops, Ray Sefo with his mafia-looking ass, licking his chops, and thinking, man, I want to put Carissa in here with Kayla Harrison one day. I want to put Carissa in here with this person, that person. Ray, they think about money. They thinking about money, family. And they'll put her in there, man, get her messed up. Girl won't be able to operate no more, and guess what? They don't care, because they've already gotten the money out of her. Carissa need to take this thing slow. The same thing I said about Kayla Harrison. Isn't that something, Combo?
It's the same thing, yeah.
I criticized the hell out of Kayla Harrison. Boy, I killed Kayla Harrison. She on my shit list, the worst one. Criticize her for the same thing. Look, Kayla, you're not ready. What you calling out Nunes and Cyborg? We shut up, Kayla. But then they, oh, well, man, you're hating on the sister. No, I'm hating on anybody where it sounds stupid, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's just dumb. Carissa is going to get in there and she's going to get herself hurt if they put her in there with these opponents that's not ready, okay, that she ain't ready for. These jiu-jitsu masters, they going to take her down. They ain't got to know how to strike. They going to eat a couple of shots from her. They going to eat it. And if they survive them shots, Carissa going for the ride. She going for the ride. And you don't think they're going to take that chance, Combo?
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. They are. Like, that's something I was going to mention to you, too. Like, I know you said the PFL is good for her, but, like, don't you think, like, man, was there, like, a lower organization, the PFL? Because I still see a lot of these girls in the PFL, like, that we consider tomato cans. They see that name in Clarissa Shields, and they're going to go all out and try to submit her and choke her. You know, they have enough to give her work. You know, that's the thing. Like, I don't even know if, like, their worst fighter Clarissa Shields can make a big statement against.
It's going to be hard, man. And she's talking about she's fighting in May 2021. I said,
Yeah.
Damn. Boy, we're going to be watching this one. And you know it's going to be a big selling event.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll do more views than Kayla Harrison. She'll do a lot more views than Kayla Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
But Kayla Harrison ain't done nothing in the world of anything except for judo.
Right.
And judo not popular, man. Boxing more popular than judo. How about people can't believe Oh, Kayla Harrison's a star. No, she's not. Kayla Harrison did 135,000 TV views. We talking about TV views, okay? Not pay-per-views, TV views.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Her last album. She's not popular. Man.
Yeah, she ain't popular yet because Terrence Crawford, we say he ain't popular with pay-per-view sales in boxing, but he's doing like 1 to 2 million TV views, you know. So that's not a lot.
More than Kayla Hype Job Harrison.
Yeah, you know, yeah, that's Kayla. That ain't a lot. 135,000. No, like, she just doesn't. I don't think she's just getting it herself. Like, what do you think, man? Like, Clarissa Shields. I made the suggestion too that, like, since she didn't do the amateur circuit, like, shouldn't she go over to do these like grappling tournaments or try to get some work in that way?
She should, but you know what it is. It's the same ego that Holly Holm had, same ego that Ronda Rousey had.
Mm-hmm.
See, Clarissa got an ego, and she Clarissa Shields, world champion boxer. So how's that look? She go to some tournament that don't nobody know who you are, and you go in there and get pinned. You know it's gonna be all over the news, everywhere. Ooh, Clarissa Shields got submitted in 5 seconds. Ooh, and Clarissa, man, her ego won't let her do that. Just like Kayla Harrison won't get into a boxing tournament or amateur circuit, they ain't gonna do that because her ego won't allow her to go in there and get pieced up. See, these fighters like Kayla and Clarissa, they got more in common than you think. They both got egos. They're both insecure, but I think Clarissa is a little bit more sure in herself, and I think Kayla is a little bit mentally unstable. I think Clarissa is sure about herself, but then also too, she's insecure in some areas, especially with looks. Clarissa don't think she's attractive, and I'm telling you, she don't think that. And it all came to light when she fought Hannah Gabriels. It was crystal clear to me. Kayla Harrison, she got so many mental issues, man. We need, she got a self-image thing. She got a fear of loneliness. I mean, Kayla Harrison got so much stuff mentally going on. So you're dealing with all of that. And you come into the octagon or wherever you coming to. Well, just think, man, this is the only thing that don't judge you. And then you go in there and lose. These two, they're going to be messed up. They're going to be trying to justify it. I think Clarissa will handle a loss better than Kayla will. But they both won't be able to handle the loss that well. I know they won't. Or they'll make excuses. Carissa's still making excuses why she got dropped by Hannah Gabriels to this day. To this day! She's still making excuses.
But you think they got
to do an interview? And somebody asked about Hannah Gabriels. What did she always say? I got back up. I got back up. Who won the fight? Who won the fight? Me. I won the fight. See? That's what she be doing. But hey, man, I'm gonna sit back and I'm just keep making videos, and I'm gonna say I told y'all so.
So you think you think Clarissa, as a champion, like the thing that separates her from like the other fighters like Valentino and Nunes, like you think she just doesn't really like she doesn't have that humble bone in her to just say, okay, I mastered boxing, now it's time to go over here and master this, you know, and then after that, when I master this, I can go over here. You think she don't have that time in her to do that? You think this might just be because it's like more of a financial move or two then?
I think it's both. It's a financial move, and then also the thought of her losing. I think Clarissa don't respect the sport of MMA enough to understand that there are levels to this. In Carissa's mind, it's not going to take that long. I just got to learn how to wrestle. You know, I just got to learn how to, stop some takedowns here and there. You know, that's her mind. That's what she thinks. That's how she is wired. She don't respect the discipline of MMA that much.
But that's like, that's a dangerous mind though, because even like you think about it, like even the fighters you interview, the fighters I interview, MMA, martial artists, they, these women mixed martial artists, they all tell you that you have to bite down and be humble sometimes. You got to take an ass whooping here and there. You got to get choked out to know what it feels like. These ladies are humble, so you don't think she got that mind frame like that to say, okay, I got to be humble and do this? Like, you think it's because she's been champion for so long?
Yep, she don't have it. Tell you who got it. Amanda Nunes got it. You know why? Because Amanda Nunes told her, didn't tell her, but said, why am I going to go into boxing? That's not what I do. And Amanda straight up said,
Yeah.
she beat me in a boxing match. That's not Amanda being afraid, because I'm sure Amanda would take the fight if there was more money in it. But Amanda understands that there are levels. It's levels to this. And Amanda know that Carissa's on one level and she's on another level when it comes to just straight boxing. That's why Amanda said, I'm not calling her out. Hey, Amanda said, I tell you what, come to my sport. Come to my sport. Come to my sport. That's what she said. And I got to give Carissa props for saying, hey, you know what? I want to take a stab. I want to fight. But you got to understand that there are levels, and you got to put yourself in a position to be ready for that. Now, Kayla Harrison was only 2 fights in, and she already called out Chris Cyborg. And I'm like, you done fought some scrubs, and you think you ready for Chris? Like, just crazy.
I mean, yeah, man, like that. See, like that's the mindsets you can really see in these fighters. Like Nunez, honestly, she'll just be honest and say, no, boxing's not my game. You come over here. And for Clarissa to come over here now, she can't really go in there thinking with the mind frame of Nunez, a Cyborg constantly on her mind. She just got to go for her and say, I got to master what I got to master. But this is a big question for you, Coach. Clarissa Shields reaches out to you for your help as a trainer in mixed martial arts. How would you move her? She's still the same champion in boxing. How would you move her?
First thing I do, we wouldn't fight nowhere. Wouldn't fight anyway. You know what we do? Carissa gonna learn how to wrestle. First thing I'm gonna take Carissa, we're gonna go to some high schools. We're gonna go to some high school gyms. And Carissa gonna get beat up by a lot of these high school boy wrestlers. Carissa gonna learn how to grapple 1-on-1. Okay? We're gonna go that. We're gonna spend nothing, because look, it ain't like she's gonna have many boxing fights, We won't even think MMA. We're gonna wrestle. We're gonna learn how to wrestle. Okay? Then, when I feel like she's doing fairly decent in wrestle, she can take people down, she can do a single and double leg, at least. She can get through that point. She can get somebody on the ground. She can do a Ukrachi, those kind of moves. Okay, guess what? Now what we're going to do is we're going to start learning jiu-jitsu, okay? We're going to go from wrestling, we're going to learn some jiu-jitsu.
Okay, real quick, what would the time frame be on that wrestling, though?
Wrestling, we're going to wrestle for an entire year. Now, she's not going to get everything she needs in a year, okay? But we're going to learn at least a single leg, double leg. We're going to learn how to trip,
okay.
And we may even learn how to do a hip toss. We may even learn that, okay? The hip toss is going to be a little bit more advanced than somebody just learning, okay? That's stuff you have to work into. But definitely, we're going to learn a single and a double leg, okay? We're going to learn that. And then we're going to get those, and then what we're going to do is leave. We're going to go next, and we're going to do some jiu-jitsu. And our goal will be in a 2-year period to work up to your blue belt, okay? Because if she's a blue belt, at least on the ground, she can defend submission. She can actually have an idea of how to defend submissions, okay? She can even have an idea of how to, even put people in an arm bar, a rear naked choke. Those are the first things you learn, an arm bar and rear naked choke. So you can learn those. And we're gonna just drill those. See, we're talking about a 2 to 3 year period before she even step into an amateur bout. Then we're gonna put Carissa in her first amateur bout, okay? And we're gonna let her fight somebody who's on her level. They may not even have the striking, maybe don't even have much of the ground game. But see, Carissa, she gotta get it. She gotta fight enough people inside of an octagon to know how I feel, okay? She don't wanna get in there with a fighter who's known for kicking the legs from out underneath, because she's not ready for all that. We don't wanna get in there with a fighter who can just slap a guillotine on. I want people who are very inexperienced where she is, okay? I want that. I want Carissa to be able to test her hands. I want her to be able to test her wrestling. I want Carissa to be able to, even try to do a submission. I want Carissa being able to test the waters against these opponents that are really on her level, okay?
Right.
After a 4th fight in the amateur circuit, we'll do one more amateur fight. We'll do 5. Okay, by the 5th fight, Carissa will have an idea an understanding of how to defend on the ground. She have an idea. Okay, then we're gonna start working, Carissa, how to, put people into a guard. Okay, how to squeeze them into that guard. We're gonna start working a triangle, because you can actually learn how to do a triangle and transition to an arm bar. That's what we're gonna learn how to do. Okay, because you're gonna have people by the time you get to your fifth amateur fight, they're gonna try to take you down. And by that time, 5 fights in, you're gonna find somebody who can wrestle. Okay. Nope. Me and Carissa, we're gonna learn how to do fight from the guard. We're gonna learn how to throw elbows out of a guard. Even if she don't know how to do a triangle, we're gonna let Carissa learn how to strike those elbows into the guard, into the top of their head. See, that's what we're gonna do. We gonna spend very little time on striking and punching. That's what she know how to do. Okay. We're gonna learn how to check kicks. It's gonna be a progression after amateur fight number 5. Okay. If she's at least 4-1, we're gonna make the jump to the pros. Okay. If she has 2 losses, we're gonna stay in the amateur for at least 2 more fights, and we're gonna get more experience. See, Carissa will be prepared. Okay. It may not be the time frame she wants, but see, she ain't gonna go in there and then fight somebody, and then have her arm freaking ripped off her body, and then she ain't no good to nobody and herself.
Right.
See, that's my whole thing. Protect the fighter. Prepare. Okay, and I'm gonna sugarcoat it. Like, Carissa, you don't know shit about MMA. And I tell her that straight up. Look, we got to work. Look, this is my plan. Okay, this is my plan for you. We're gonna work 7 days, we're gonna work 6 days a week. We're gonna work on a new skill set every single day. Okay, we're gonna get your conditioning, your cardio, we're gonna get all that in, we're gonna weight lift, we're gonna do all of that. But we're going to get a new skill set. We're gonna work on something every day of the week. Okay, until we reach our goal of a blue belt in jiu-jitsu within a 2-year period. It's gonna take maybe 2 to 4 years to be a blue belt. But because at a blue belt, you can operate pretty efficiently. You can do some stuff. Now, you can't go in there and submit everybody that you need. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But as a blue belt, you can defend. Okay, you can defend yourself from submissions. You can do that. And it's quite good. And we're gonna work out every position. Combo, I'm gonna put in positions like, I'm gonna have her, when we spar, we're gonna wrestle, and after every round, I'm gonna have a fresh fighter in there ready just to take her down and slam her, throw her down. Okay, make Carissa learn how to use her guard and beat her up. That's what we're gonna do in training, and we're gonna do that daily. Carissa gonna be so comfortable off her back, okay, and she's gonna be so comfortable getting back to her feet. It's not gonna be a problem for her to be taken down, because she's gonna get up. She gonna know how to. We're gonna teach her. I'm gonna teach her how to put the darn knee into the person's stomach to get separation, so she can slide up against that cage and get back up. I'm gonna teach her how to have a wide base, so when they try for the single leg, she widen her base and lower her center of gravity. Look, man, we're gonna learn all of that. Carissa is gonna be damn near ready to go in a 3 to 4 year period, with some success. I'm not saying she's gonna be ready in 3 to 4 years to fight Nunes. That's stupid.
Right.
But to fight people on her level, she's gonna be ready. That's what they gotta do, man. So they can't put this girl in there in a year, man.
No.
Somebody gonna whoop her ass.
So even with that, like you said, even with all that experience, throughout those years, that wouldn't even be enough to take on like a top 15, really, would it? I mean, like anybody between 10 and 15, like
no.
Right.
Probably you'll be okay to take on 15, but it's gonna be now a thing of, okay, now you got to work at it. Hey, now you got to keep pushing, okay? Now you got to keep pushing. She's 25. By the time she's 31, okay, maybe she can be a purple belt. Because at a purple belt, you're pretty dangerous, You're pretty dangerous as a purple belt, maybe, okay? But wrestling, definitely in a 5 to 6 year period, you can definitely make a lot of gains in wrestling, a lot of gains, okay? So it's doable. It's doable for her, but she got to actually follow a specific plan, and it's got to work out that way. It's got to be a progression, man. Like when I do with my athletes, it's a progression. You progress them, man. You don't jump them. And then, then they get in there with somebody with so much experience, and then they get in there and just get the hell beat out of them. Nah, man. Nah. You gotta be predictable. Your success has to be predictable. And you've got to work at the things. You got to be a student. You got to study what people do, tendencies. Like, why do people, when they fight, why do a lot of fights go to decisions? And you know that the most common submission is a rear naked choke. That's the most common submission. Okay? Why is that so? See, these are things that me and Carissa, we're gonna be students. We're gonna be students of the game. She gonna know all this information. So when she get in the octagon, she gonna know what percentage that her opponent's gonna be able to. We're gonna she gonna know what percentage. Oh, this girl got a 50% chance of taking me down. Okay, all right. Or this girl, she loves arm bars, so I better be ready. Guess what? We're gonna be working arm bar defense most of that camp. See, I'm gonna have this data in front of me when we train it. It ain't gonna be coming into that holding some damn mitts and telling Carissa what she want to hear. We're gonna have factual information when we face any opponent. Any opponent. We're gonna know how many strikes per minute they throw. Okay, we're gonna know tendencies to throw head kicks, body kicks. We're gonna know all of that because that's how you get the fighter prepared, man. You don't get them prepared selling them a pipe dream. A pipe dream will get your ass whooped. Okay, a pipe dream will get your ass whooped. So that's how it is.
So throughout those first years with somebody like Clarissa, you want to try to get her as close to being well-rounded as possible, huh? Like not just selling her off for one dream, like oh she got knockout power, oh no she got takedown, she got the ability to take you down and submit you. Like you want to try to get her well-rounded in those first years before even taking her first pro fight, right?
Yeah, yeah. Before she taking any fights, man, prepare. Before she even taking any amateur fights. Don't even put her now in an amateur bout until she's got some form of success. Okay, some form of success. And you know, that's just what it is. That's just what it is, okay? You have to see what hype jobs do. They don't understand delayed gratification. They don't get that. And it's called delayed gratification. Okay? When you do anything in life, you have to have a plan. Okay? If you don't have a plan, then what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? What? I mean, is your plan to go in and get your ass whooped? I mean, is that your plan? Fighting is serious. You got to have a very, very smart trainer. Okay? You got to have a smart trainer. And you got to have somebody that's goal-oriented, not somebody who's trying to make a quick buck, not somebody telling you what you want to hear. You need somebody in there that's going to tell you the truth if they have a plan. When I say Pavel Fedotov always has a plan, he does have a plan.
Right.
They plan everything. This man knows. When Valentina fight an opponent, Valentina don't even have to look at film. Pavel know all this shit. Pavel know the tendencies of every opponent, and that's what they train in camp. That's what they do. Okay? They know, Pavel know, man. So Pavel know how to script the training. That's a smart trainer. Mike Brown at ATT. Mike Brown is a data's guy. He's a numbers man. Okay? Mike Brown's a good trainer. Some people don't like ATT, but Mike Brown is a very, very good trainer. And he's a data dude. This dude know the strikes per minute. He know like what percentage of the fighter, you know, what time they're gonna throw a kick. Mike Brown know like what their submission rates are. Mike Brown know like when they be fading. Like I'm talking about, man, that's high level. Like that's high level. You know, Mike Brown even be telling his fighters stuff like, well, you know, this person like to put you on the fence and be in the clinch because you know this person will spend 2 minutes and 30 seconds in every round average in the clinch. I mean, that's a smart trainer. That's a smart coach, man. That's smart. Carissa need that, man. She got to be prepared. You can't play with this stuff, man. It's almost like in boxing, bro. You know, she went from her Olympic trainer who served her well, but then she got with John David Jackson that showed her how to be patient. You know, how to wait, how to counter. You know, it's kind of like it's like that, man. It's levels to this. Now you're not gonna go to your old high school coach to give you stuff. You're gonna need a professional. You need somebody who knows this stuff. Hell, imagine if Carissa could even train under a trainer like a damn Pavel, or train under, you know, Rick Little out there at Sick Jitsu.
Wow, yeah.
You know how prepared she'd be?
Man, yeah.
But she got some fly-by-night ass trainer, man. It's not gonna work, bro.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much like on what's going on in the camp as far as preparing for, you know, this big leap to MMA. So I was just about to ask you that too. Like, have you heard anything about anybody reaching out? Like, as far as I've heard John Jones and things like that, but like, have you heard anything like that was serious as far as anybody reaching out to actually push her the right way?
She's been working with this one group called I forgot their name, but that's who she's been working with. The guy's a trainer, man. I'm trying to find it for you right now.
Okay.
Um,
While you looking for that, there's somebody in the comment section. You might want to answer this for him. It might clear some things up for them. Like Colton asked, we didn't really ask. He said, "I don't get why Clarissa just can't get takedown defense. It works for Holly. She can learn the grappling as she goes." What are your thoughts on that?
okay, think about this. What's the first thing Valentina Shevchenko did to Holly? She took her ass to the ground after she got done counting her to death. And did that takedown defense work?
No.
Didn't work. Okay? It didn't work because there's somebody that can take you down despite of your takedown defense. What do you think Amanda Nunes did to Jermaine Durandame? Jermaine Durandame takedown defense is good. When she got in there with Amanda Nunes part 2, what happened?
Took her down again.
Took her down easily, and Amanda made it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
Takedown defense is not enough. You will only get by with that so far, and you're gonna get somebody that can take you down, and that's gonna keep you down, that's gonna beat the hell out of you. The takedown defense didn't work for Holly Holm that well. It didn't. Holly Holm had to get in there and learn how to wrestle and use that. She had to learn how to wrestle, man.
Yeah.
And Holly Holm has always worked on wrestling, but she's never used it until recently. But, she had to do it because she was going to continue to get pieced up. Okay? And you think for a minute, because, dude, she was losing to Megan Anderson on the feet. I don't care what nobody said. She was losing. And she didn't want to get knocked out. Megan Anderson hit her too many damn times with that right hand. It was about to be a wrap.
Yeah.
Okay? She caught Holly Holm with some good shots, man. Holly said, oh, hell no. She took that fight to the ground. Takedown defense isn't enough. Okay? Yeah, Joanna. Did that takedown defense work against Valentina?
No.
No. Valentina took her for the ride easy. Rose Namajunas took her down. That takedown defense don't work. You know what takedown defense work? It worked with people who are inconsistent at giving takedowns. That's who it worked with. Okay? That literally, that's what takedown defense do.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that all day long, but if you don't understand how to operate on your back, how to wrestle, if you don't get that, then you don't understand takedown defense. You don't get it.
Right.
Okay? Juliana Pena was able to take her down. Juliana Pena took her down, but she know how to wrestle. That takedown defense don't help you. If somebody at high level wrestler, you going for that ride.
Yeah, you are. Like you said with Valentina, it only works so many times with the predictable fighters she fought, like Jessica Andrade, Claudia Gadelha. But when you step it up against a fighter who can mix in some good striking and has physical strength like Valentina, yeah, you going for the ride. You getting ragdolled, But all right. So Colton, he says she can start fighting some PFL fighters with good takedown defense, and then learn grappling as she progresses. She can beat these PFL girls with good takedown defense, similar to Joanna. Okay. What do you think about that? I gotta grab some water. Answer that for him.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen with that mindset. No disrespect. Carissa gonna go in there and she's gonna get fucked up thinking that shit. Here's the thing. You hark on takedown defense, okay? There are amateur fighters who can take you down, that are good at that, okay? Can you spend the whole fight defending takedowns? Okay? Tell me, can you do a whole fight defending a takedown? It's not gonna happen, okay? You're gonna wear down, and eventually you're gonna be hitting that mat. So it's only so long that you can defend a takedown. It's only so long, and then you will go down. Especially if you Carissa Shields, they're not going to stand with you. They're not going to do it. Nobody in their right mind is going to try to throw hands with you. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to take a nice little angle, okay, and they're going to take her down. And her takedown defense can be gold, okay? Look, we can talk about Joanna got some of the best takedown defense in the world, okay? If we want to go back to fighters like Joanna, she got some of the best takedown defense out there. But guess what? Joanna went for the ride. GDR got some of the best takedown in MMA. Guess what? When she met against a superior fighter and grappler, she went for the ride. And Amanda Nunes made it look so damn easy. Amanda made it look so easy. You would think that GDR don't have takedown defense. That's how easy Amanda made it look. Valentina made it so easy. Okay, Juliana Pena, they make it easy. They taking you down. Okay, you will go to the ground. Okay, you will not stand with them. With you trying to beat them by takedown defense, it's not gonna work. And then what? Okay, you spend 3 rounds trying to defend takedowns. Do you know what's gonna happen? Okay, have you ever had somebody try to take you down completely? Have you ever had that? Your arms burn out. Okay, is Carissa gonna be able to get the underhook to prevent the takedown in initial? Is she gonna be able to spread her legs to get the base? That stuff requires energy and stamina. It requires that. You can't do that for 3 rounds and think you're gonna win the fight. It's not gonna happen. She's gonna get her ass whooped. That's just my view, man.
Okay, yeah, I definitely agree with a lot of things you're saying here because just trying to fall dependent on takedown defense, even at the PFL level, it wouldn't be a good idea because I think that would give her false confidence. Colton said it's not like she needs to be a black belt. I mean, yeah, she's never going to be a black belt at this, in a 2-year pace like Clarissa thinks she's going to be, but she definitely needs, what do you say, like even a blue belt by like after how many fights before she could just be a blue belt, coach?
Look, before she even have a fight, I want her to take 2 years to become a blue belt.
Yeah.
You can be a blue belt in about 2 years. You can do that. That's doable. I even before she even think to fight, I want Carissa Shields working on fundamentals before we even think to even fight somebody. That's secondary. I'm not gonna throw her in an octagon with just takedown defense. That's crazy. Cause she gonna get beat. And a wrestler with some cardio, guess what? They're gonna keep at it. They're gonna keep her against that damn fence. Okay, they're gonna grind her out. If they can't get her down, they're gonna foot stomp her to death. She ain't used to that. They're gonna punch in the body. They're gonna throw these little pot shots. They're gonna hit her with exit elbows. And that's another thing. She get hit with an exit elbow. Boy, it's gonna be a wrap. It is gonna be a wrap. Like, okay. Like y'all be thinking that, man. And I'm not being mean or disrespectful, but what it is that this generation right now, everybody wants it now. Mm-hmm. Like nobody wants to do what it actually takes to be on that level. You can't play this. This ain't a game, okay? This ain't some game. It's not a video game. You don't hit the reset button when you get knocked out, okay? It's not that kind of level. This is something different, okay? You have to be prepared. You can't nickel and dime trainers. If you're gonna do this and your hands make you hundreds of thousands of dollars like hers do, you go get the best trainer, okay? You don't get somebody blowing smoke in your ass. You go get the best trainer to help you get to that level.
How long did it take Holly Holm to get her blue belt? Like, how many years you say?
Holly Holm is still a blue belt.
No, she's still one.
Holly Holm, still a blue belt, okay? Mm-hmm. Holly Holm been in MMA for roughly 10 years. She kickboxed for 2 or 3, and she boxed before that, okay?
Okay.
Holly Holm been in the game 10 years, and she's still a blue belt. I mean, that ought to tell you.
Yeah, I tell you something.
That ought to tell you, man. It's not sweet out here. This ain't a game. This ain't some game. You can't play this. You can't play MMA. No,
I agree. Like, and it's like you said, like the younger generation now, they want it now. That's why quality suffers a lot. I'm looking at music now, but this is a much more dangerous thing, like combat sports. If you keep thinking, I want the belt, or I want the bag, it's like quality is going to suffer in your fighting style. Some of these people don't know about the hard work. But how long will it take? Not even without even seeing, but just with the attitude that Clarissa speaks with, how long do you think before you say she can even invade like the Bellator rankings or anything like that, or be like a real threat for anybody?
I say you give her roughly 6 years. If we're really hard training, she can invade Bellator. Maybe can get within the top 10, maybe in the top 10, but probably not in the top 5, but she'll be good enough to where she'll be competitive, okay? Mm-hmm. She'll be in every fight. She may not win those fights, but she'll be competitive. and she'll be able to give her best effort. That's my view. Maybe even 6 years. You have people that are exceptions to the rule, like people like Marion Reneau. Marion Reneau was a heptathlete, and Marion Reneau could have went to the Olympics, man, as a
Yeah.
heptathlete. Like she was that good. Like this little old woman could throw the javelin 178 feet. Okay, like Marion Reneau was a freaking beast, man. Like running like 2 hurdles. I mean, could run 200 meters in like 23 seconds. Like Marion Reneau was a beast, man. So people like Marion Reneau, they learn quickly, and I'm not saying like she's like the best well-rounded fighter in MMA, but she got her jiu-jitsu black belt. I think she did it in, I want to say she did it in 8 years. Marion Reneau did it in 8 years, but that's because Marion was a hell of an athlete. I'm talking about this somebody she could have did anything. Okay, Marion Reneau could have did anything she wanted. Marion Reneau could have been in the Olympics, but she chose mixed martial art. Okay, that's what she chose, mixed martial arts. But when you have those mega hella athletes like that, their learning curves can be a little bit shorter. And depending upon too, Marion, her background, family background, they fought, So it's not like something she wasn't exposed to. See, Carissa, she's never been exposed to wrestling. Marion has. At an early age, she was exposed to wrestling. She was exposed to, so she was pretty much being groomed. She was already ready to be a fighter, Carissa hadn't been exposed to the wrestling. If you ask me, hey, people like Bud Crawford would do well in MMA because Bud Crawford is a world-class wrestler, okay? But Vasily Lomachenko, definitely a world-class wrestler, okay? I mean, I've seen videos of him wrestling. Vasily Lomachenko can wrestle his ass off. He would do well in MMA. Because if you can wrestle and if you can strike, you've got two of the big components out of the way, okay? Learn a little bit of jiu-jitsu, and then there you go. Learn some jiu-jitsu. But being able to operate on the ground in any capacity is a start. Those guys could be great in MMA. Sean Porter could be good in MMA. Sean Porter wrestled.
Yeah.
He could be good in MMA. As a matter of fact, I think Sean Porter, out of all the guys I mentioned, I think Sean Porter's transition would probably be the best because his style is so unorthodox. He punches like those MMA guys. To be honest, Sean Porter could do it.
Yeah.
Carissa hasn't been on the ground. She hadn't learned that, It's not there. But when she get an idea of how to at least wrestle, Carissa's going to be dangerous. She's going to be very dangerous when she learns how to wrestle.
Yeah, that's the number one thing I was going to say. Yeah, she needs to learn because even like you said with Terrence Crawford, just looking at him messing around with some of his friends, I saw how he was quick to just put somebody in a rear naked choke. I was like, yeah, this guy is quick. He has that background where he could go to MMA. He has that foundation. And like you said with Sean Porter, him too, like he's never been like this power puncher that sits down on his feet. He's always light on his feet when he punches. So yeah, like her style in boxing doesn't really transition well over MMA. So yeah, she definitely has a lot of work ahead of her. But stamina, he brought up a good point earlier, Coach. I was gonna ask you this. Like he said that personalities like gel in the gym. Relationships have to be kind of formed. Like who would you see Clarissa actually like being able to link up with as far as like a mainstream gym that puts out champions?
I'm gonna tell you, boy, and you probably wouldn't even man. Honestly, I think Carissa, if she can go fight and train under Coach Mike Brown, BTT, she do good. Now Budokan up there with Tanisha Tennant train.
Yeah.
I think Carissa would fit in great at Budokan. And they good, man. You see, they've quietly broken into the MMA scene, but they do traditional martial arts. Like they're into the meditation, they're into the why you do what you do. They're into you study, study your opponent, study your craft. Okay. They're into that kind of stuff. And I think something like that, Budokan, I definitely think they will help Carissa. I think ATT and Budokan are my top two.
Okay.
Those are my top two.
Yeah, that Budokan, that would like definitely like put her in a different attitude, like the way they train. And I mean, like just the way Tanisha Tennant came out, she just so more like mental based. Like her mind stays more like one. Like she's not trying to fully compete with, or like trying to be this fighter that thinks about ego. Like Tanisha Tennant, one of the things I always remember she says is, "I do me." You know, after one of her fights, she was like, "I was just in there doing me," and that's like you said, that really explains the why she does what she does.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man, something like that would work for Carissa, because Carissa need to learn humility. And she got to understand that the process, Tanisha Tennant ain't just come on the scene, man. Tanisha Tennant been around for a while, man. And I'm talking about, she been grinding, man.
Yeah.
I'm talking about grinding. I'm talking about hard. Okay? This ain't been like, her, just doing certain Tanisha Tennant been here dying in gyms, going all over the place to try to get, reps and see, who can give her work. But Budokan, man, they're more of their mental coaches. And they work more on your mind than anything else. And that's the one thing I like about them. I researched them heavily, man, before I interview her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much stuff on what them brothers up there doing, man. Them brothers, I'm surprised more people don't know about them, man. Because their fighters not having mental breakdowns in the octagon. But some fighters, man, they don't, when they get hit, they panic. Tanisha don't do that. Tanisha don't panic. You know what Tanisha Tennant do? She reset, she get her mind right, and she go back out there and make adjustments. She's a thinking fighter. She thinks. But they teach you how to think there. But they'll never get a lot of credit. And just to be real, they're not gonna get the credit because, a whole blank team in MMA is just it's not there. Okay, it's not there, and people don't really respect that.
Yeah.
These guys, those are real sensations. They do weapons training up there.
Yeah,
they do a lot of weapons training.
I was looking at their IG, yeah.
Like, they're the complete package. I mean, if I lived up there in that area, I would train there. Or I would send people there. And they do it all, bro. Boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. They do everything.
Well, shoot, we got to get more of them on here then, even like talk to some of their trainers, get them on and kind of start putting them on more shows and just, actually kind of put them out there. Because, yeah, like you said, you don't really hear a lot of people mention them. And I really don't see like a lot of the UFC fighters want to reach out to them.
Nah, man. Nah, but we know why that is.
Yeah.
I mean, we know, we ain't even front. We know why it is. But them guys good though. They know. And they know nonsense. They don't put up with mess either. They wouldn't put up with Carissa Shields, how she conduct herself.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't put up with her. But they'll tell her straight up, you're not better than the team. You're not better than the plan. You're not better than the game plan that we got for you. They'll put her in her place. Believe you me. Carissa will go up in there, and Carissa will be humble. And she'll have a humble heart when she go in there. And see, then these self-conscious things she have about herself won't matter. You see Tanisha Tennant worried about her looks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think she care about that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
No, she don't care about that. Okay? Because her inner, she feels good within. She feels good within. So she don't worry about how she looks. She don't care about that. Her inner is what makes her the complete fighter that she is. Her inner, not her outer. You ever talk to her too, man? Tanisha don't say a whole lot. She don't say a whole lot at all. This girl don't waste words, but she don't mince words. Everything with her is quick and to the point.
Yeah, I like that about her. Like your first interview you did with her, and then when I got a chance to get on and talk to her, I like that about her. Very short with the answers, but when she goes to fight, it's like, like this girl really, she's really like a smart fighter in there. Like that was the first thing that stands out to me about her IQ and the moves she's making. It's all action with her, man. So yeah, we got to talk to them some more. Get even her team on, and like I said, kind of put them out there more to the whole WMMA universe, man.
Yeah, we got to, man. We got to. Man, that's some good stuff, man. But hey, y'all. Hey, y'all better Colton. I know, man. I know you think, man, but stop thinking Carissa gonna go in there with some takedown defense, man. She's gonna get her ass whooped doing that.
Yeah. I just had to mention that because like I don't see takedown defense saving her. But like, real quick, this little question here, like her being at a higher weight too, would that make a difference with her takedown defense? Thinking that could get you through a fight, especially like 155.
Should be heavier because
Yeah.
I mean she fights at 160 most of the time.
160, 168, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. She gonna be dropping a lot of weight in her world. Dude, she might, and it depends, man, on who's trying to take her down. If she fights Sarah Kaufman, she going down.
Yeah.
If she fight Roberta Samaj, she going down.
Mm-hmm.
If she fight Janaya Fabian, probably not. If she fight Janaya Fabian or Bobby Joe Danzium, nah, she ain't going down. They're gonna be trading. Now they're gonna try to put her in a tie clinch. Them damn tie fighters, they hell.
Yeah.
A tie fighter hell. They hell. That Luma Lukbome,
Yeah.
y'all be wanting to fight her, man. You know that?
No, nobody wants to fight her. Yeah, I noticed that. No, like she's intense, man. Like people say her striking up top ain't nothing, but look at her legs and look at her inside work. Oh man.
They don't be wanting to fight her, man, for real. And I can't remember who that was, man, that fought her and said that that's one of the toughest fights she ever had because Luma Lukbome, he throwing them damn tie clinches on and you can't get out of them. Now, I'm going to tell you, a top fighter would definitely be detrimental to Carissa.
Yeah.
A real good top fighter. She'll do okay against a kickboxer because they ain't trying to clinch you that much in a tie clinch.
Mm-hmm.
But a tie fighter, man, especially a real good one, they hell, man. They hell.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see how they gonna do it, man.
Yeah.
I hope they give it somebody. I hope they give her a scrub, man.
I hope so too. Like her first 3 or 4 fights, I hope are just like some scrubs where we can actually see her work, man. Because I don't want to see her go in there and get fed to somebody just off of her name. Like as soon as they open the season up in May or April or whatever, like, I don't want to see them do that to her, man.
Yeah, they gonna. Cause then the fighters coming in there, they're gonna be like, oh hell, she thinks she gonna come in here and do what she gonna do. This MMA, baby.
Yeah.
You know what they're saying when they fight her.
Oh yeah.
This MMA, baby.
Yeah,
You don't have a
man.
referee break you up and shit.
Mm-hmm. They will, man. But yeah, man. It's been real having you on, Coach, tonight, man. Before I close this thing out, is there anything you wanted to say before we close this thing out, man? Final thoughts? I wonder if he got cut off.
Oh, sorry, man. I was on mute.
Oh, you were on mute. Okay, yeah, I had to pull that back. Okay. Yeah, what was your final thoughts, Coach, before I wrap this thing up? It's been real having you on, man. Good advice, good talk, man.
Hey, man, thank you, man, for having me on here, man. It's a pleasure, man, to be on here with you and just get to chop it up with you on this kind of stuff, man. I mean, my final thoughts, an ass whooping don't care who you are. Ass whoopings don't care about race. Ass whoopings don't care how tall you are, how much money you got. An ass whooping will find you if you're ignorant. An ass whooping will find you if you can't fight. Okay? Be smart. Be smart. Don't find yourself in an ass whooping if you can help prepare yourself. That's my final thought.
All right, I can agree with that 100%, man. But you're always plugging me on your channel, but I'm gonna plug you over here. Definitely subscribe to Coach Sheldon Harrison. Got the best channel on WMMA when it comes to breakdowns. This the guy to go to. He's very knowledgeable. He dropped gems on him. Y'all heard him. He dropped the gems. But anything else you wanted to say, Coach, as far as where to follow you at? That's it. The channel.
Yeah, man. Y'all can follow me, but yeah, YouTube would just unsubscribe me anyway. That's what they do.
Yeah, I dropped
I'm
down
just
2
saying.
again too. I was like, what's going on, man? I went up 3, then dropped 2. They playing, man.
Yeah, they playing us, man. And I thought it was just me. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, I'll turn people off, but nah,
Yeah.
because the game like 30. I did a show on Fanon's channel.
Uh-huh.
I swear, man, I gained 30, and then just the next day, 10 of them fell off. I'm like, what?
Wow.
What? Nah, not that fast. Cause I ain't put no videos out, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But
screw
shout out to everybody that came out in the chat. Stamina, BJ, Robert, Marcus, Colton, everybody. Genesis was up in there for a little bit. So yeah.
BJ.
And yeah, BJ, definitely BJ was up in there. Stamina over there saying he talking capitals. It raises his blood pressure, but you know that's crazy.
Man, don't be letting the homie BJ, raise your blood pressure, man. Come on now.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Coach, we'll definitely do it again over here. Because like I said, there's a lot of, good conversation over here about different fighters we can speak on. And I'll always be on your channel, bro.
Yeah, man, you welcome, man. Anytime you want a link, man, you got it.
All right. And yeah, everybody, y'all know where to subscribe at. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
All right, peace.